Welcome in. Oh my God. Day 6 of the Oceanic Resurrection Tournament. I'm your host, Hello833, and we've got some great games lined up tonight. Before we get into that, though, I am joined by a very special person, my co-caster for tonight, the best Lux in all of OS, Headshot Dodd. How are you going tonight, my friend? Are you excited?
I couldn't be more excited. It's an absolute pleasure to be on the broadcast with you. Hello, everyone in chat. I don't know about that best Lux OCE, but we'll see how we go. I'm excited. There's some really cool games going to be happening tonight. Both the best of ones and the best of threes. Woo! It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be some really, I just think, incredible games, and I'm very happy to have you here to cast them with me. But first, I'll have to remind everyone of our amazingly generous sponsor, Logitech G, who is supplying each of the main roster members of the winning team a red Pro X Superlight 2 SE. The Pro X Superlight SE is an iconic 60G pro gaming mouse designed with the world's top players and engineered to win. Our lovely team member Viola has those with her and is ready to send them off to the winners at a moment's notice. As well as the prize for the winning team members, Logitech G is also giving away a white Pro X TKL Rapid keyboard to the person with the highest pick'em score. Thank you, Logitech G. Then let's take a look at the current prize pool distribution, which is sitting at a very hefty $2,420. And any donations will continue to be added up onto this amount all the way up to the grand finale. Let's take a look, though, Dodd, at today's lineup of matches. You were talking, we had these first best of ones, and then the final best of 3. But look at these teams. Team Capybara, Team Halo. I want to ask you, though, which team are you looking out for the most today, at least? What game are you the most excited for?
Honestly, the first game's going to be an absolute banger, I think. It's going to, knowing that Kyose and his Emerald and Platinum players are coming up, and they're coming up against Capybara. I can't wait to see how that goes. I've been scouting some OPGGs. Let's see how the Super Asian does. He had a rough day on solo queue the last couple of days, so let's see how he pulls through into the tournament, eh?
Yeah, he's, that's the fun thing. At the same time, with every single member on these teams, we can take a look and we can see how they're doing. And some players have had some good games, and some players have had some rough time in the solo queue. But it's really important to understand that with these first 2 games, Team Capybara, Team Siren Revive But on Coke, and Poltron's Kittens, Hello Kitty Friendship Circle, 2 of these teams are out of the tournament today. Whoever wins stays in, but 2 are completely gone. They are in the losers bracket. So if you lose in the losers bracket, it's a full elimination. So they absolutely are. So a lot of stakes, high stakes on the line, really, really, really hefty stuff here. And I know both teams are going to be fighting tooth and nail to stay in. And of course, we'll be ending the night with a large best of 3 for our winners bracket.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that. We did have that little issue the other day regarding Vanguard, and so we didn't get the full sort of force of how Fearless can take effect, but I'm hoping that we get a couple of really nice games. We can see these bans stack up. And of course, speaking of bans, Dodd, Kyose's team starting up first, Team Siren Revived, 9 bans they have. They have 9 extra bans.
I don't know how you're going to play up against that. It's a tricky one to come up against. 9 bans? Yeah. I mean, I hope they don't have too many one-tricks in there. I think McKinnon's expanded his roster at least a little bit from being just Kennon, so it's going to be interesting to see how they play up against this.
Yeah, it's certainly, I'm looking at these names. I mean, it's some pretty hefty names. And I want to say as well, with these Team 4 players, we have seen them perform. There are a lot of scrims played, and we saw them in the earlier game. They are holding their own. They truly are. And into the names, like, look at this, Willy Wonka, the Super Asian, McKinnon, Clown, Mucci. I mean, these are goats of the goats, really. And the fact that they can hold their own and potentially even best these players, I mean, you're gonna want to watch this game. You're gonna want to pay close attention. What lane in particular do you think you'll be following here? Which name in particular will you be keeping your eyes on?
I mean, it's got to be Mr. Coach Kiyose. Surely, Coach Kiyose versus McKinnon. It's going to be a big matchup. And I think, hey, if McKinnon can keep Kiyose down, it gives the rest of, I mean, they just don't really stand a chance, right? Surely Kiyose is going to be that big carry. And I mean, if Kiyose can't pull it out in laning phase or even afterwards, then the rest of the boys are going to have to really pull through and really put on a good showing. Jamming into Willy Wonka, I mean, that's going to be tough to do, surely.
Oh my God. I mean, we saw Willy Wonka's Fiora and it was a decimation. They didn't end up winning that game, interestingly enough, as of course Halo couldn't make that first game. And so they had to sub in McKinnon on that Rise pick. But whether that game would have gone differently, I wouldn't be able to say. But what I did see in the last game with Team Siren was Kayose played, and this is speaking to what you said, where Kayose really needs to take control, take hold. Kayose played a Morgana mid, which is typically as a mid laner, Dodd. What do you think about Morgana mid? Is that the carry potential? Does that pick have carry potential to take over, to do what he needs to do for his team here?
Look, I think it's so one-dimensional. You know, you hit the Q or you don't. And if you do, boom, someone's dead. Or you're sacrificing your life and hoping for the best, right? You're flashing in, you're throwing up your R. If you got Sonya's, maybe you're living, or if you're fair enough. But man, if you're flashing into 5 and hoping for the best, you better hope that your team that you've been coaching, you better hope they can pull through. Otherwise, you're just going to be left solo, 1 against 5, dead.
Absolutely. I guess the question is, with that in mind, yeah, Morgana is such a sort of do or die. You really have to have the might of your team behind you. I was talking with one of the members of Team Siren, and they were discussing the fact of if Kayose would play more of a carry champion. Because I'd love to see him on his signature Syndra.
Yeah.
I saw he was practicing a bit of Syndra today. I'd love to see him on just something with a little bit more push than Morgana, a little bit less reliant on team, because Shanman as well, a very good independent laner, you know. Usually, you know, the junglers, however they've discussed with that jungler, I myself would personally favor of ganking Kayose. Get Kayose ahead so he can take over these games. Yeah. Because you don't have to gank Shanman. We've seen him be self-sufficient. We can put him on that Scion. We can put him on any of these sort of solo laning picks, just very safe picks, scale up, be a menace, but apply what you need to apply. And then, of course, we have the bot lane. We have Nakoya. One of our resident observers, and I'm very excited to see him play here today. I was speaking with him about the accursed Ziggs duty. And we saw that in Worlds with Gumayushi and such placed on Ziggs duty. What do you think about putting these very heavy micro, just amazing players on Ziggs duty as we get?
Look, I mean, sometimes safety is the best option as well, especially if you're just trying to hold your own. Like you said about Shanman holding his own on top. If he's on Ziggs duty, Nakoya can hold his own in bot, and then they can really just, you know, you can send Queen and you can send Drakov into the mid lane to really hold Kyose's hand if he ever needs it. So look, I mean, we're into the draft now. It's go time.
And we can see as well these 4 bans have come out now because Kayose, if you're unaware, because Kayose has some tier 4 players, 4 tier 4 players, he has allowed 4 extra bans which have been used on Zed, Irelia, Xin Zhao, and Vi. I'm sure you can see what's going on there, Dodd. We've got junglers and mid laners. And we start off with the Wukong as well. The Super Asian. He's going to have a rough time. A lot of his picks are taken out.
Yeah, he's getting focused down at the moment, and it hasn't even started in the game. So, yeah, man, he's going to have to really dig deep and into this champ pool or champion ocean and see what he can pull out and see if it's still going to be good enough to really go up against Drakov.
Absolutely, and Team Capybara seem to be aware at least of Team Siren's game plan here, getting rid of that signature Syndra, as we talked about. We can't allow him on a carry pick such as that, as we also take out the comfort pick of Ornn. So Shanman doesn't have Ornn, but now Willy Wonka doesn't have that Fiora. Now, Willy Wonka's Fiora, I mean...
Yeah, looks like the team done a bit of research here. Yep.
Absolutely.
And look, I mean, if they can, the thing with Kiyose is he's a bit of a freak. The man can just play everything so well. So, I mean, I don't even know if you can really ban him out. I've seen this guy climb to Challenger playing Blitzcrank mid, Leona mid. So I don't know what we're going to see today, but it's going to be interesting. Oh, we see the Ambassador. Woo!
Ooh, I love an Mbessa lock-in. So much movement, so much outplay potential.
Yeah.
And the good thing is, something we've seen a lot throughout this tournament is these flex picks. That could be potentially an Mbessa jungle.
Ooh.
As we get an Aatrox lock-in top.
Holy.
Right.
Hey, unless the Super Asian is pulling out the Aatrox jungle. I've seen it.
Yep.
I don't know if I've seen him play it, but hey.
It's not terrible. It's certainly not terrible. I myself am not a huge fan of it. As we get a Zoe lock-in.
Wow,
could that
that's going to be exciting.
Zoe or a mid lane Zoe, do you think?
I'm going to say it's mid Zoe, unless it's mid Bard, which who knows?
Honestly, with Team Siren, anything is possible, but that's going to be Kaiosy on Zoe, which is really good. That is the type of high damage pick, you know, the potential that we need from Kaiosy to help push this Team Siren into the throws as we get a big Nautilus lock-in. Muchi on the Nautilus, landing those dredges. Can he do it? We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess the thing with Zoe is such a big pick, and if he can get ahead, you know, if Kaiosy can get ahead on the Zoe pick, he can really just be an absolute menace. You know, walking bot, walking top into the jungle with Drakov, really just trying to pin down to Super Asian on his camps if they can. I was gonna say it's awesome to see Shaman on the Mbessa if it is Shaman top, Mbessa top.
Take a look at
You
Capybara, what have they just done? They've banned Scion, which must mean they at least think it is an Mbessa jungle, without a doubt, if they're still banning top champs.
And we see the Draven taken away from Clown, one of his signature picks. He's a bit of a racist Draven, but I don't know if he's racist himself, but his Draven tends to be. So they're really taking that one off the table.
Stereotypical, of course, for the Draven players out there. They've got to fit the bill, really.
I think it's compulsory.
It is. They do 10% extra damage, of course, if you sort of type anything in all chat. We won't be really getting with so much lockdown, so much CC already on Team Capybara. It's going to be hard to see what type of ADC Nicoya wants to pull out here, if not something very safe. We talked about that Ziggs duty, and I hate to say that it's looking like it would be good here, but a Ziggs honestly would fit the bill of just being able to backline. But then you're going to need a very either a tanky top, wherever this Mbessa goes, a very tanky top or a very tanky jungle.
Yeah, well, it looks like Capybara are pretty sure that it's going to be Mbessa jungle, given they banned away the Yorick as well. Unless they're just shouting you out, mate, and they're just trying to get rid of Hallow's Yorick. Who knows? Yeah.
Hallow's
looming Yorick. You never know. Rumble.
Rumble support potentially, Dodd. Rumble support, would that be?
The shout out. Could be Rumble in the jungle, maybe. Flick with the skin.
Yes.
Nah, I mean,
I only ever really knew BBP could play a very mean Rumble jungle. Potentially Honey Pack could also emulate, but there's that tanky front line. Wow.
Perfect.
A Mundo. But the thing is here, Dodd, still both so flexible. We've seen Mundo jungle. We've seen Mbessa jungle. It's up to anyone where this actually goes, all things considered. It's the final lock-ins. What are we looking for? An Ashe. Nicoya Ashe. Going to be very interesting. That's going to be a lot of CC added to this comp now with the Bard stuns, the bubbles, and the public execution.
The virus pick coming in.
You play more support than me, Dodd, in terms of bot lane. What do you think? Which bot lane comes out on top here? What's your knowledge speak to you here? Who's got a bit of a stronger bot?
Look, I think it's really going to be depending on who hits what. Obviously, I mean, with the virus and Nautilus, if you get hit by the hook or you're getting hit by the virus ult, you're in trouble. But if they miss, and you know, hey, you're trying to run away from Bard, good luck. That champ is fucking annoying. And same with Ashe. You know, you've got the Ashe volley, the slowing on the auto attacks, queued up the Bard. I mean, you don't want to get into a fight and then try to run away with your tail between legs because you're not going to get out nicely. So look, it could go either way. It's going to be interesting to see if Muchi can really hit those hooks.
And yeah, I guess it'll depend if Nicoya wants to take cleanse here, because that will be very important for those chains of corruption. But I also want to point out that Team Siren's comp, very long range actually. You've got the catch up from the Ashe, the Enchanted Arrow, of course, but then you also have the Sleepy Time Bubble, you've got the public execution with Drakov, and you have the Barda. We have a lot of long range potential. As we get into game one, we'll see if it is possible to get these in this team fight.
A little bit of level 1 shenaniganery. Kaiosy missing his first Q, but I guess we won't hold that against him.
Hopefully that doesn't stay the same for the game. But take a look at Kyose's summoner spells. That's an Ignite Flash Zoe mid. What do you think about that?
I mean, look, he wants to get ahead early because Victor's going to outscale in the end. You know, if Victor's able to scale up and really pull through those early levels, then look, it's going to be tough. But Victor is also a very good skirmisher. So Kyose having that Ignite is going to help out in that 2v2 early if they do end up in that scenario.
Absolutely, and I think we can see it's pretty interesting in the bot lane in terms of summoners. Clown has gone for the cleanse, of course, needed into the Ashe, but Nicoya has just chosen the barrier. So if any of this CC chain that you were talking about regards to the Nautilus and the Varus ult, if that lands with such a squishy sort of comp, they're going to be in trouble. Team Siren is really going to be in trouble, at least in these late game team fights if someone missteps. Yeah,
maybe Nicoya is really banking on the Bard ults coming through later on. You know, I'm waiting to see some magical Bard ults really just coming in clutch and saving the day.
Certainly, we've seen a couple really good Bard ults throughout this tournament. Do you think we'll get much action top lane, though? With this Mundo Rumble, as a top laner player, it's a very strange matchup. Rumble, huge bully, and I love to see Willy Wonka on it. If anyone's going to get ahead, it's going to be him. But Mundo actually can play so back from range with these briefcases just farming. There's a bit of a clock. There is a bit of a clock on both teams. You've got the Victor scaling, and you have the late game potential. Let's look at this level 2.
Bit of an early fight, but I don't know if Willy Wonka's really come out on top on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
Mundo, such a strong champion. Half and half, and the regen on Mundo is a little bit higher, especially in this early game. Gonna be hard.
And interestingly enough, I mean, I think, look, if Mundo can't stay up and can't really, you know, stay even, I do feel like Team Siren lacks a bit of damage. You know, there's a lot of damage coming out of the Rumble, the Victor, the Aatrox, the Varus, but you know, if you're not hitting your spells as Zoe, you know, if you're not hitting that sleep, you know, you can be lacking on the damage. Same with Ashe. You know, Ashe is very much more on that utility side with the arrow, and Mundo would be in the tank. But it's going to be interesting to see if they can really cut through Team Capybara as well.
Absolutely. You know, there is a lot of health to get through with the Aatrox, the super Aatrox, with all that sustain, and you also have the Rumble, which, you know, he's got the shield, big Nautilus as well. I do agree there is. If Drakov or Kyosi don't get ahead, especially in this early game, they will find themselves lacking in damage late game, which they've got so much access to so much utility. But as we've seen in earlier games, utility isn't everything. You really do just need, sometimes you need a Bork, sometimes you need an IE to do what you need to do on some of these picks.
Yeah, well, we're going to see the picks coming through, right? We've got the Ashe arrow, we've got the Sleepy Bubble Trouble. They got to go for this long range pick. Like you were saying, you got the Ambassador ult as well. Nothing too much happening right now, though. The jungler's just done their full clears, and Draco's looking towards his top side, though.
Yeah, we've got a, you know, it's a very sort of peaceful start. Both scuttles, or one scuttle going over to each other jungler, and we've seen this playstyle before from the Super Asian. He does go for a very full clear orientated play, and it didn't work out amazingly for him in that sort of the other game he played, and I'm wondering if maybe his strategy has changed, or it might work well this time because Drakov similarly is playing for that full clear playstyle on that Abessa, wanting to get to 6 as quick as possible so we can start getting these long range picks. Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, one of the other things that we might have to consider is this is an elimination match for both these teams. You know, there might be a bit of nerves. You know, they're more thinking, I don't want to fuck up, I don't want to be the reason we lose, compared to how do I win this lane? As the Sleepy Time bubble goes and the double stun on both sides here. An Ignite has been popped from Kyosi onto Jupiter here, and not enough. The potion healing him up just enough to survive. With no Ignite, Kyosi is down the summoner spells, but TP was having to be used earlier by the Victor. So we go even for now as a very large wave is lost. Going to be expensive for this Victor. We can already see a CS lead, pretty hefty CS lead in the mid lane, as both mid laners have opted to go for the Dark Seal as well, as Willy Wonka has also chosen for the Dark Seal.
Of course,
man, after my own heart. I love it. They get ahead. I mean,
it's more of a mental game, surely, right? If you don't buy the Dark Seal, you're the bitch in the lane, right? You just get, you've already told them you don't want to win. You can't be expecting McKinnon to not come out with the Dark Seal.
The hook does land from Muchi. onto that Bard there, and such a heavy trade, but Clown is completely out of mana, even with the Super Asian hovering here. Drakov as well, the Super Asian canceling his back. Drakov gets in that bush, no vision with that control ward.
Now, was the Super Asian in the bush then? I don't know if he was. And then he moved? One of the interesting things to note as well is Clown's opted for the Comet build here. So, I mean, he's probably not thinking he's going to be able to auto too much and win the trades, but just allows to be, like, Comet Virus is really fucking annoying, to be honest, you know? I mean...
Would you have a preference over, you know, Lethality Virus as a huge fight goes on top? Willy Wonka popping the ult and solo killing Shan Man with the first blood of the game. 2 stacks on that Darkseer.
Yeah, look, and we're going to see a big disparity come out here. We already see the TP's been used by Shaman. He's going to lose 2, maybe 3 waves here. Or at least, you know, coming up on that. So, and he's already down 20 CS. So, I mean, there's a big disparity there right now.
Yeah, and with a champion like Mundo, as the Arcane Storm comes out in the mid lane, not enough mana for this mid laner to follow, for this Victor to follow up on, but pushes him off the wave and can recapture a little bit of CS. Because the Mundo getting behind early is pretty disastrous. It's going to be really hard for him to scale, as Parisi does bubble in. The bubble goes wide, catches the first, flashes first, and then catches the Victor flash, and that is going to be both summoners used. But Parisi on devastatingly low health, and even those Bard healing is not going to be enough. He's forced to reset. But yeah, that Mundo getting behind, it's going to be really hard. And we've already seen, once Willy Wonka gets a lead, he does not stop pressuring. It's so hard for something like a scaling top laner to breathe once he gets a little bit of gold in his pocket from kills.
On the other side, that Rumble matchup is tricky because he gets to with that Leandris for free. You know, it's part of his normal build path. So he's going to be happy as Larry building that into Mundo, as we see the Super Asian walking top as well.
Yeah, and have you noticed this? No ganks yet from either jungler here as we hit the 8-minute mark in the game. Peaceful, very peaceful. The only a 1 kill in 8 minutes, honestly, for this tournament is a bit rare. And we brushed over it before. What do you think about Lethality Varus over on Hit Varus, especially in a comp like this?
I think it is very game dependent. I think in this game, oh, hold on, we might see a bit of action coming through mid. Kiosi's got the double health back from the Bard and the pink ward. He should be safe enough. Look, I think it is game dependent, right? Are you able to hit auto attacks? Can you auto for long enough to make sure that lethality, lethal tempo is worth it? Probably not in this game, right? So I think opting for that Comet and opting for the bit of lethality is probably the way to go.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I think once you can get that Manamune online as well as... Damn, look at this trade. Shaman just under tower, barely struggling to get some CS, and this wave is going to be big, and with that ult available, Willy Wonka can absolutely look for a dive. Draco, I don't know if he's been spotted bot side, but he is bot side, so who can help Shanman out here? The ult goes down, the E does hit. Shanman forced to ult, but it's not going to be enough to save him, and that's a successful dive from Willy Wonka.
The equalizer was so good there from Willy Wonka, and unfortunately for Shaman, he even used his ghost and his ult there. Well, it was his ghost, but look, he's going to come back to lane even sadder than what he is, and he's losing another bunch of creeps, and he's going to be down 2 levels on. Yeah, he's down 2 levels now, and I don't know if he's going to be able to come back from that one. It's going to be a tricky one.
Yeah, and the added bonus of Willy Wonka taking, I believe, 2 plates there. Yes, the time bubble going a bit wide. But the added bonus of Willy Wonka taking 2 plates there, getting that Haunting Guise and the Faded Ashes now with 4 stacks on the Darkseer. He is certainly looking well in the position to take over this game if need be.
Yep.
With this sort of lack of ganking, as the bubble does land, the sleep goes through, and the Paddle Star a kill. The Super Asian online.
He did nothing in the gank, but he was there in support. It looks like they just won the solo 2v2.
Yeah, and that's going to be feats of strength going over to the side of Team Capybara here. Didn't really get a good idea of what happened. The Dredge Line hitting onto this, but as you mentioned, that Arcane Comet, unlike the lethal tempo, while it does a big chunk, it's not enough for these extended trade. Enchanted Arrow, the long shot. Not landing. They can see to collect the wave though.
Happy and best to picking up a few creeps there. This matchup looks hellish now.
Yeah,
it just looks hellish.
So grim. 20 CS down. Yeah. All you've got is the Giant's Belt and the Crystalline Bracer. It's certainly we're gonna need Dreykov to play a little bit topside. Dreykov's played a more, specifically as we can see his items, he's going for that Cyclo Sword here. He's playing a slow farming game.
Yep.
And, you know, we talked about in the draft how we needed to get Koyosi ahead, how we needed to potentially focus our minds or focus our efforts on Koyosi. There hasn't been a huge amount of ganks. We haven't really seen Bard do the signature Bard ability of roaming much, to be honest.
Yep. And that's potentially, you know, he feels like he needs to babysit Ashe because we don't have Nicoya on the Ziggs. We've got Nicoya on Ashe. Pretty vulnerable, pretty mobile. No cleanse, like you mentioned, and it's tough. One of the things we didn't really cover off though is Siren did get the dragon. They got first drag when Shaman got taken out by that dive.
Popped just for the move speed, but a beautiful dodge from Nicoya.
We're gonna need to check that guy's PC real quick. Vanguard might be coming up soon. Holy shit.
That was a wonderful little sidestep there.
Solo
And they
kill in the
kill.
mid-lane.
Look, as we were saying, finally, Jakov understands what he has to do. We have gone and we've got Koyosi ahead and getting Koyosi a kill. Oh no, Todd. Oh dear.
No.
Take a look. We haven't really been paying much attention. A 40 CS lead has been collected. Willy Wonka was forced to use that equalizer ult, but the lead he has now with this Leandre's item, just 2 ticks on the queue, taking out almost a quarter of Shaman's health.
It's just unplayable. It's unplayable. This guy can't step into the wave. He's really just, and this is what we talked about in Champ Select as well, you know? Kiyose is going to be probably getting ahead and the other sides are going to be probably falling behind. And we're seeing that 50 CS lead come through for Luonka and the 20 CS lead come through for Clown here.
Yeah, I'm really interested to, I would love to know the full process behind Team Siren for this Bard pick. You know, we haven't really seen many roams. We haven't seen any crazy plays towards mid lane. And it's good that we've started to get the steam train rolling with Drakov getting into that mid lane as we get a bit of a replay now. Look at this. Nicoya's sidestep. 1, 2, dredge line. Perfect dodge. Oh my god. And if you notice, Bard there did the heal to the right side of the Nort Hill. He suspected Nicoya was going to dodge it, just as he did. They're in perfect harmony here. Koyosi here with the exhaust. Sleepy Time Bubble going out, and the Drowsy going through. He's picked up a Ravenous Hydra. So much damage onto this mid laner.
This is what I was talking about earlier in terms of having that early, the ignite onto the Zoe.
Oh, as a flash to collect the solo kill. This is what we need to do. Willy Wonka is here, and so is Nort, but Drakov hovering. We got to keep Koyosi alive. He's our game plan here.
Yep.
Although, take a look. The Super Asian in now. Bolt is popped. Demonic Ascension
equalizer
inbound.
coming
The
through from Willy
equalizer
Wonka.
going out as a Bard hits the double golden. Drakov is going down. They're going to be forced to retreat out of this fight. The Sleepy Time Bubble does land on Willy Wonka, and it's a huge chunk of damage, but cooldowns are down for Koyosi. Bard is forced to magical journey away to Super Asian taking down, but Koyosi isn't done. The bubble goes a tiny bit wide. Nicoya is here. If an Ashe W can slow some of these, flashing out, Willy Wonka getting even lower, but Muchi wants a bit of smoke here. Looking for the dredge line, doesn't land. We're finally backing off.
And we're seeing that Zoe really start to be an absolute menace. You get a bit of a lead on that champ, and it is hard to pin you down, especially if you can just, you get these free bubbles when you get the opportunity. And that if you hit the bubble, you can do a lot of damage to pretty much everyone on that team right now. No one's picked up the Merc Treads, so there's a lot of damage coming through from Kiyose at this point.
Take a look at this little solo here. Just a perfect lineup flash. And we do get Willy Wonka come down, but it doesn't go that well. I spoke like, what's the point of this Bard? But it bought so much time that we could get enough poke chip damage. The moment that Koyosi lands this bubble on Wonka there, it's so much damage that they are forced to get out. And he was doing all of that with no item. Now he's picked up that Ludens. We're going to get a bigger increase in damage now.
Yeah, and we do have the Dragons. Dragons up now. So we've got a bit of vision come through from Team Siren. They're able to see what's going on. And it's going to be interesting because, look, if Zoe's got the vision to play around, she is a real threat to whoever she's up against.
Absolutely. And, with these lane swaps coming out, we can already see the Victor with those 2 deaths. We don't want to keep trying. We don't want to stay in this lane. As take a look at Willy Wonka equalizing for that damage. A beautiful enchanted arrow just to stop any further effects, but we'll force Nicoya to back. Dragon is online and the Super Asian is starting.
We do have a focus from Team Siren. They're actually picking up the Rift Herald instead.
Wow, a beautiful trade. And they didn't forget the Herald. Even better.
And look, this is the beauty of them picking up that first dragon earlier, is they don't have to stress. They bought the time, so they've got a few extra minutes before we're even going to need to be talking about the soul point coming through.
Yeah, and you know, with these little roams from Willy Wonka here, they have been somewhat costly. Yes, he's gotten into these fights and he's helped out, but Mundo has picked up a little bit more steer. Shanman has finished that first item as he is desperately looking to defend the tower, but forced to R defensively and just sprint away. The pullback from the Aatrox not going through. That will be a tower down, the bot tier 1 down. Shanman, but can heal up with that Warmogs.
Yeah. Now you might know.
The R goes through onto the Bard. He does get through the portal, and the slows are nice. Forced to flash from the Varus arrow.
I was gonna say, does the 1 Ruby Crystal give Mundo enough bonus HP for the Warmogs passive? I thought it was need an extra giant spell.
I do think you did need an extra giant spell. To Shanman attempts to fight for that red buff. Probably should have given it though.
Either way, it doesn't appear like he's got enough health.
But take
even
a look
if he was
top
healing.
side. There was a dive onto the mid laner here, onto the Arcane Herald, and they will be using another Herald. Potentially trade with no wave though, and the other team members backing. It's gonna take a little while to get this first tower for Team Siren.
And they got the second tier tower for Team Capybara in their bowling there, so there's that extra gold put onto the Rumble. Rumble got 2 items now. He's big online. He's gonna be doing a fuck ton of damage with that build at this point.
Yeah, and it's a really good team-based itemization there. Going that Bloodlet is going to be really good to allowing, even though the Victor decently far behind from these little kills here and there. The Victor is going to get a nice big chunk extra of damage because he's shredding with the Rumble Shred, and you combine that Shred with the Rumble E. There's not going to be much MR on the side of Team Siren.
No. And especially for their bottom side, you know, I don't see Zoe building too much, and Ashe and Bard are probably not building any MR to start with. Unless we see maybe Wits End coming through for Ashe, but she's too poor at this stage to even really think about that.
The bubble landing on the Super Asian. The enchanted arrow hitting Nautilus as well. The Super Asian is low. Forced to flash out and but the Ignite Tick gets it. Willy Wonka in the fight, equalizing, taking down 2. Kyosi is forced to sprint away. The flash from Clown. He wants Kyosi. High ATAR plays. The arrow will miss. The bubble missing as well. It's a trade on both sides. Junglers, but also trading the bot laners as well.
Yeah, and even though the Super Asian is just super dead right here, the rest of the team just cleaned them up. And it just, they don't stand a chance.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. The Arcane Storm combined with that Equalizer is just so much damage. Although a solo kill went out onto Willy Wonka, and that's the man you want that gold on. A huge bounty going over to Kyosi. 5-0. That's going to be good.
And look, at this stage, the 2 leaders just battled it out, and Yosei came out on top. Wonder if we're going to see a bit of tilt coming through from Willy Wonka.
And, you know, we were speaking about these Dark Seals. Kyosi's got a full 10. A full 10 on his stacks. He's going to have a nice bit of AP as, look at this, not just a Horizon focus, but a Rod as well. Oh my word. That is going to be devastating if a bubble lands for Team Capybara.
His Nautilus hooks are just missing.
We can take a look at this mid kill here. A bubble must have landed onto Willy Wonka. And just a flash pickup. Getting it. That is exactly what you want. Exactly what you want.
As Zoe is notorious for doing that extra damage without actually hitting any spells. She's good at that.
Yeah. Where does she get it from? It always feels like enemy Zoe does so much. And then, of course, you get the Zoe support, and you
got fucking Zoe at home, and they get takeaway Zoe.
Yep, exactly. As take a look, Atakan spawning bot side. That flash used, but the enchanted arrow has gone on to Willy Wonka, and here's the combo of the team. The Bard ult, he's golden, equalizing himself here. The Zoe bubble That's a kill on Willy Wonka. The Chains of Corruption going wild. And look at this. The Super Asian just sort of very mad, ulting in the pit for no reason. Who could understand why? But he might be forced to give Atakan another bubble. Landing. Drakov, half health. Kyoshi is going so much in these team fights. Here comes another Paddle Star, taking down a quarter of a health. Shanman frontlining exactly how he needs to be.
They're going to be really weak
here.
here.
Arrow missing, but the Dredge Line comes through, catches Nicoya. Shanman frontlining as well. The public execution directly onto the Super Asian, who doesn't have ult. The Atakan going over to Team Siren. The fight continues. We've got Shanman still frontlining. Kyoshi takes down the Varus, and another bubble lands onto the Victor. A third bubble has hit the Victor, as it's a full team wipe with only the Nautilus surviving.
Can Kyoshi finish it off here? He's lost. He doesn't know where Nautilus is.
Still hungry. Muchi, run! He's here. The exhaust is ready. They want it so badly.
Perfect.
Shanman.
It was a bit touch and go, but we see Willy Wonka coming back up. He's angry. He might be tilted. He's just died twice in a row for maybe nothing.
Crazy team fight there, and I think you know the winner of all of that is the fact that they do pick up this Atakan. It was perfect micro, and there's so much zoning from that first Willy Wonka kill. What do you think about this team fight?
Oh my god! I mean, look at it. They really dive in, and I mean, Ash is a bit of a magnet for that. But on the flip side, they hit the stuns up, and the bar gets a double Q onto the Super Asian and onto Nautilus, and it really saved the day for a while.
It certainly looked bad, especially at this point when they start pushing them in. But Kyoshi is allowed to just tempo the Super Asian down, the Victor down, and then they can collect one more. Dragon is up, and if they want to give it, they perfectly can. It's only the second, but they don't want to give it. The Enchanted Arrow. Oh my god, and the Bard are catching both of them. The public execution going through. Jupiter forced to flash away. Cleanse used as well. Clown is running, but Mundo isn't tanky enough. It's doing a lot on the Super Asian, who is drowsy. Makoya going down as well. It's just Kyoshi and the Bard here. He does have flash, but not enough damage.
No.
Oh, a triple kill.
It's an absolute disaster for Team Siren.
Oh my god, it certainly looked good for a second. A perfect enchanted arrow from Nicoya hitting the Willy Wonka, and then we can get the follow-up from the Bard but they just didn't have the damage yet. And unfortunately, that equalizer is doing so much. We don't really anticipate just how much shred, but you can see both teams, whoever loses this is out of the tournament. So we are gonna need both teams to fight like their lives depend on it.
Yeah, and look, I mean, it was great work there from the Super Asian. He was able to zone off Kyoshi and also avoid taking a lot of damage. But then he just got that Aatrox healing. He heals from 10 HP to 4,000. I don't know what happened there, but they really clutched out. It was like he had 3 health bars. I thought he was playing Aatrox, not Rengar.
That's Sundered Sky, isn't it crazy?
It is insane. Sundered Sky plus Aatrox is some massive healing, and he's got those super merc trades now, so he's going to be taking a lot less damage.
On Drakov. He's got a lot of movement. The Barda is stopping the Super Asian, who's the Super Golden. The Enchanted Arrow. Willy Wonka is a magnet for it, and Kyoshi switches it right past that Nautilus, but can't get the Paddle Star in. They're forced to back off in this little choke point.
Yeah, and that's the sort of gameplay we probably want to be seeing from Team Siren. Is this slower, longer fights where they can play around multiple Zoe bubbles. Here we're going to see Kyoshi getting picked out.
Corruption does land onto Kyoshi, forced to flash away. The equalizer completely useless. They do cut off the choke point, but that's perfectly part of Kyoshi's plan. And yeah, I think these longer fights are wanted because look at Shanman. He still doesn't have his second item. We need more time to scale.
Yep.
Willy Wonka.
Oh, Willy Wonka might
out a little bit here. With the briefcase landing, but Nicoya
found themselves in a bit of no man's land in the middle of 3 guys. Interesting Saturday night.
The Super Asian wants to go away. This TP perfect landing on the bubble from Kyoshi, and they will sleep the Nautilus, but the Nautilus is tanky. Muchi just dredge lining the wall and forced to flash out, but that sleepy time bubble goes a little bit wild. Drakov taking a decent amount of damage. This lethality build not tanky enough. The Arcane Storm plus the Varus Arrow enough to take down Drakov.
Yeah, and look, these the upgraded boots that they've got from picking up the you know, the feats is going to do a lot of work here, especially for the Aatrox with the Merc Treads. He's just got this magic shield that's really negating a lot of damage coming out of this Zoe. He's able to frontline and hold the line.
Yeah, as they do start this Baron, and it doesn't look like Team Siren Revive, but on Coke can even contest with the zoning effects of Willy Wonka. We're gonna need a lucky arrow here or something, as the Nort once more going in and eating the enchanted arrow from Nicoya, going a little bit wide there. Willy Wonka has to back off and is forced to flash on both ends. Chains of Corruption also going a little bit wide. Still can Joey bubble through the wall, but won't, as they will get the Baron and a kill onto that Bard for nothing.
And this is what I was talking about earlier. I said if you're not hitting those sleeps on Zoe, you're really annoying, and you're still doing a lot of damage, but the sleeps is what you pick up the kills with. And unfortunately, Kyose's just missed one too many bubbles, and it's really been the differing factor for these fights, I think.
Yeah, it does play a role of a little bit of tech from the Super Asian there. You can see the jungler tech. I love when they smite double camp. But they really do.
That's why he's the super.
He is the super. We've seen some very good plays from him. He's reserved and he's power farm for a majority of this game, but he is online now. He's almost hit 16.
Yuchi just running in.
Dredge line hits on Drakov again. Forced to Bard defensively. The public execution stunning the Super Asian, but Nicoya will be found with no cleanse. Those Chains of Corruption. The Baron is going to allow this siege to do so much. They're going for this tower, potentially looking to end. If they lose here, Team Siren Revive, but on Coke is completely out of the game. They're gonna need a good defense.
Yeah, look, I think Team Siren might have had a bad batch of Coke tonight, because they're not looking like they're on it. Unfortunately, I mean, and with the Baron picked up, we're seeing this XP difference. You know, we see the Super Asian up 2 levels on Drakov now, and you know, Victor's come through and he's only 1 level behind now, so he's back in the game considering on the rough start he had.
Yeah, certainly. I think as well a bit of a downfall of Drakov has been this Cyclo Sword burst, and while it might be, you know, meta in some games, Mother win rate might be high on it. In terms of frontlining, you only really have this Mundo and this Ambessa, and we've seen this Ambassador's getting shredded very quickly, impeccably quickly, as they are going to be forced to give this dragon as well.
Yep. And look, I mean, we've even seen Clown. Clown's up 3 levels on Nicoya. He's got that 3 levels on, 1 level off that level 16 ultimate, and it's going to be a big difference in these fights too. He's going to be throwing out Chains of Corruptions left, right, and center, and those enchanted arrows they're not doing what they need to be doing this game.
Yeah, we've seen the power fantasy. We saw it in that Willy Wonka kill, where the enchanted arrow does land, the Bardar follows up, and then the whole team collapses. And when it does happen, it is beautiful. And it could happen. There's a chance that it could happen. Someone could be caught out here. Because look, Nicoya, while he doesn't have a huge amount of items, his main role right now is landing these arrows. And if he can do that, they do have a chance at this game. Absolutely.
Yeah, we are seeing the lack of damage as well. You know, we really are seeing all of the damage is coming from Kyose. You know, Nicoya's doing nothing, Shaman's doing nothing, Drakov's too behind to do anything. So they're really struggling, and Victor gets that benefit of being able to build Banshees as well. So even Kyose is not going to be able to really do too much to him, and it's just going to spell downfall.
Ooh, as the Change of Corruption does land on Kaius, who's forced to cleanse there. Picking up a little cleanse is very lucky. Yes. Equalizer coming out from Willy Wonka, but look how much damage that E is doing. The arrow from Varus, the Super Asian has the Super ulted. The enchanted arrow stopping them all under tower now with no minions. They will be taking tower aggro after this last mage minion falls, but it stays alive as well. Even without Baron, the siege, the push from Victor, very hard to interact with. The dredge line lands onto Bard. No chance to even reactive Bard. Look how big that Arcane Storm is. They want more. If they can end this game, they stay in the tournament. It lands on Drakov, who finds himself destroyed, blown up. Shanman forced to ult. They can take this inhib for all it's worth.
Coming back to... bit of a cheeky flash there from Gyose, but he just did not do the damage he thought he might have been doing. Not enough to take down Willy Wonka.
Certainly had to attempt something here. These desperation plays are in order for something to happen.
Yeah, exactly. one of the benefits to this lethality virus, he does get to pick up that edge at night. And look, we talked about Morgana earlier being a bit of a one-dimensional champion. Zoe can feel a little bit like that sometimes too. You know, you miss that bubble or you can't hit it. It makes your life so much harder, especially if you're behind. You know, if you're ahead and you miss the bubble, who cares, right? But if you're behind, you know, you're not able to hit it on Victor, you're not able to hit it on Virus because they've got these spell shields. Your life just becomes so hard. And then all it takes is Nautilus to press R on you when you ult force to hit a Q, and you're dead. That's donezo.
Yeah, and we've seen some really interesting hooks from Muchi, and some misses, some hits, but this Nautilus playing such a good role and just tanking so much. A decent amount of this Kaiyosi damage has been tanked. Chains of Corruption isn't enough. Mundo passive goes where he pleases. He's going back to base.
Yeah.
Safe at last.
Valiant effort.
Absolutely. And I think this Bard pick is just a little bit lacking in terms of team fights. We can get really good catch out with these ults, and there's a couple brilliant delays from good tunnels with this magical journey. But in terms of who's putting in a little bit more in these team fights, this Nautilus hooks and just general presence is doing so much, as we do get Team Halo here looking to try another Baron under their belts. Will Team Siren want to contest? Very difficult to.
It doesn't look like they really even have opportunity. And the beauty of having Nautilus and Victor and Virus and the whole team just has so much zoning. Whether it's those three or it's the equalizer comes from Rumble, it's so hard to even get here. Is that Nautilus hook?
Lands it on the Bard, and they are taking this magical journey. Can afford to, as they're so tanky. Change of Corruption going a little bit wide on Kaiyosi there, but worth a shot. We do have ults up on both teams here, at least in terms of this Enchanted Arrow. And the time to fight, to take a risky fight, I guess would be now, as they will slow choke out for this inhib.
Yep,
The
they do it
Equalizer
now,
is available.
or they're on soul point.
Under passive
Inferno Soul's up.
Pushed in at the Nexus turrets. It could be going home for Team Siren. They need to defend here, or this is their final game in the tournament. The Varus Arrow missing, but the Victor, Hextech Ray, the Equalizer going out from Willy Wonka, zoning this first Nexus turret off. The stun does land, but look how low they are. This Arcane Storm, Willy Wonka, the Super Flash does land it. Yokoya, you need to run. It's not going to be enough. It's a Nexus turret down. And that will be the first game of the day.
That's all she
taken out
wrote.
for Team Capybara. Team Siren out of the tournament. Wow. Dodd, what did you think? What did you think of a game like that?
It was a banger. It was kind of how we predicted, though, to be honest. Unfortunately, it was play-by-play as the script. You know, it's not scripted, I don't think, but it was like it was. You know, Kiyose getting ahead in that mid lane, but the other lane's just not able to hold that. And really, it just was the dominance coming through from Willy Wonka, really just putting the foot onto Mundo's throat. And even bot lane with Clown, you know, coming up and picking up a few extra early kills, just it made it so hard for Team Siren.
Yeah, it did make it hard. I'll say, like, with genuine belief, up until the Atakan, and after that Atakan, Team Siren held their own. Like, while there was a little bit of disparity top lane, while it was rough, I mean, that Rumble pick is just so useful into Mundo. What can you do? But after that Atakan fight, it did look good. It looked really good. They did pick up Drekov, getting that Atakan, locking that in, Kaiyosi turning that fight well. It was just a matter of that second fight around that dragon where it turned slightly wrong in the favor. Without getting that Willy Wonka pick first, it's so hard to play because of the lead he had gained. But it was a close game and such a fun one nonetheless. But it is with a devastating heart that we do have to say goodbye to Team Siren, who played valiantly. The Tier 4 players, it was a brilliant view. And hopefully maybe next year, Tier 4 will represent themselves once again. But for now, well done, as we will go to a short break. But stay tuned as we get another elimination game very shortly. What a game. What a game, Dodd. I mean, like, that was pretty... Can I just say this? I know people had different opinions regarding tier 4 players and, you know, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3.
Yeah.
But to extend a game out to almost 35 minutes against tier 4 players, yes, you had Kaiose, the GOAT, but still, everyone put on a pretty good showing, a very good showing. Yeah. And I'm so sad to see Team Siren gone. I did know they were going to give that money to a very good cause, women and minority in gaming. I'd be curious, maybe some of the other teams might take that goal and maybe with their prize winnings also give it to women and minority in gaming.
Yeah, man, for sure.
As Ose would. Yeah, I mean, that's just Ose for you.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyone from solo queue would do the same thing.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we do say goodbye to Team Siren, and we do say hello to another 2 teams where one might be going home tonight.
Yep.
What do you think about this match?
The last game was a banger. This one's got to be a banger. Either that or it's going to be over in 20 minutes. I am excited to see Tallywhacker and Styx holding hands in mid and bot. I know they back each other up left, right, and center. So, but it's going to be Tallywhacker coming up against Ma in the mid lane. Another very contentious mid matchup. And Styx versus Kevin Bacon.
Ma has put on such a good performance, winning MVP in a couple of the other in the last couple of games. Every single pick that she plays is really good, very good. And we've got my favorite ADC, Kevin Bacon #Mog. I love him, and I'm really hoping that we get Neymar playing a sort of an allowing support, some support that allows Kevin Bacon to #Mog, and then of course Poltron. Call me biased. I love Poltron. I love his Olaf, and I need to see it. I need to see it. And guess what? I think he's going to get it through because we have Laughing Man. Now, Laughing Man is an Urgot OTP. He's been playing so many other picks, but he's not going to get that Urgot in. It's going to be banned. There's no way that HKFC allow that Urgot through. Which means Poltron has a chance of playing the Olaf.
You never know. Hey, we can cross our fingers. But I do think it's going to be very interesting in that bot lane. Seeing that matchup is going to be very exciting. I do hope we see some aggressive supports coming out. I know Styx has probably got one of the biggest egos in OCE, so I know he's going to be wanting to flex that. But you never know how it's going to go in laning phase. And with an ego comes tiltability.
Absolutely. And let's get into draft as we speak, because here we go. I can't wait for that Urgot ban.
Let's go.
I think he will be tanking the bans. I also think getting rid of Mars Orianna is really important for HKFC. We saw Mar able to take over, and we didn't see a huge amount of true domination from Kevin Bacon #Mog, and there we go. The Orianna taken away immediately. Good call, HKFC. Very good call.
Yeah, they've done their research. And look, it's interesting because we've got Ma, who's got the newer pro experience, and Tallywack has been in the game for a long time. So we're gonna see an interesting matchup. See if Tally can still hold his own.
Absolutely, and Byleth's Gwen going down. Research has been done on both sides. We saw Byleth's Gwen, and there's Urgot. We saw Byleth's Gwen really keeping afloat and doing really well. And without Urgot, Laughing Man is going to have to go onto the back foot here. And as expected, though, he expected that. He knew he was going to tank bans. And so now he's going to have to play one of his other picks that he has been training up. Project Laughing Man. Let's see it get to work. Aurora ban. What do you think about that?
Hey, I mean, if you could take that bunny off the table, I think it's a good call. Getting that off the hands of Byleth and even Tallywacker, you never know if it's going mid or top these days.
It's true. Certainly true. Kevin Bacon #Mog. No MF for you today. We won't be allowing that. That is too strong of a comfort pick for you. No Vladimir either. Very AP-centric bans from Poltron's Kittens here. What do you think about that? Is that for a specific purpose, or are they going after sort of more comfort picks, would you say?
Yeah, potentially going after the comfort picks. But you never really know with these guys. I mean, you've got the flexibility is really going to be what it comes down to. And like you said, obviously Laughing Man's going to be a bit flexible, but we do see Styx's Ezreal come through. That is his go-to.
Absolutely. As we get Kevin Bacon #Mog on the Ashe to counter. Yep. Poltron's Vi. No Olaf for me today, unfortunately. But it's important to understand, whoever loses this game, much like Team Siren, will be completely out of the tournament. So we're going to need the best picks possible for both teams to have a chance at staying in. Jin Jiao.
Strong champ.
Very strong champ. We've seen really good showings as we get, what was that, a Rakan?
Yeah. Seeing a lot of all-in. I mean, there's a lot of follow-up coming from the, Zin goes in, Rakan goes in, Ezreal can play up with the ease.
Absolutely. Getting a little bit of a movement comp here from HKFC. And we do have the shutdown counter from this Vi. We've got the point and click CC, but I think we need a little bit more. And we might get that with a huge Sion ult, Laughing Man Sion. Project Laughing
and
Man.
Look, I mean, like you said, he's got to fall back onto maybe the less comfortable picks, but hey, when in doubt, you just throw on Sion, and just if you do go down, just call it inting Sion and you'll buff out.
A strange little Olaf ban from the side of Poltron's Kittens. I guess in terms of how much CC that they have on their team, that's a good ban. We don't want to be allowing anyone to be getting onto CC immunities. And if the dream team works out here, if Laughing Man can get ahead and just sit in front of the rest of his team, Styx is going to find a bit of trouble. Getting through those Scions. They have been tanky. They've shown to be just so tanky. They stack up so much health and armor. And even if they go something like a Titanic Hydra, it's still rough as we get a Nico ban.
Yeah, Nico ban coming through. It's going to be interesting to see where they can actually get some more damage on HKFC. Like you said, they've got their tanky front line with Sion, and even Vi can get a bit tanky later on.
Certainly.
So are they going to be able to cut through? Who are they going to pick up in the mid lane? We do see the Syndra coming out against the Mara as well. Now, I believe Mara and Kios have pretty similar champ pools, so makes sense to take those off the table.
Ooh, I love a Seraphine pick. We saw Ying play Seraphine the other day to great success. It looked really, really good. Take a look. They've left Ambessa open. That's an Ambessa top. Freely available as we get Tallywhacker Ari.
Holy. We got a banger on our hands.
This is going to be a real good one. Let's finish it off. What are we thinking?
Is Mar going to surprise us with the Seraphine mid?
I would love to see it.
That would be crazy.
Very difficult to play.
Oh yeah, especially
into
the Ari. Ew, the Talia.
Talia, going to be great. A really good fifth pick for the side of Poltron's Kittens. We can stop that Rakan engage. We can stop the Ambessa. We can stop the Ari.
Yeah,
we can even stop the Xin Zhao. Ma is the linchpin, the key to this game. Let's see how they can play it out, because it's going to be very important. It's going to be really important that these Talia E's are in the choke point. We're going to get into the second game right now.
And is this Sion going to be able to survive the laning phase? Or is Ambessa just going to wail on him from level 1?
It's always a rough one being a Sion into an Ambessa, because you have so much movement on that Ambessa. You can just dodge every slam. You can dodge pretty much all the abilities that he's got. And so it will be interesting. It's going to be up to Laughing Man to prove that he can survive that and that he can keep relevance. Now, Sions can always keep relevant with that passive, but stacking up a lot of deaths probably isn't going to be too good because of how snowbally HKFC's comp is. I mean, if this Ezreal gets ahead, or this Ari, or this Xin Zhao, that lead is going to stay throughout the game. Yeah,
and we might have an interesting summoner name gap here in the mid lane. Hello. Oh, hold up. Level 1 shenanigans.
Yeah, Rakan's just going to be forced to run away here. What do you think about the Kevin Bacon #Mog Passionless Seraphine bot lane? Is this Ashe Seraphine? Is that a typical bot lane that we see, or is that sort of a little bit more unique?
Look, a little bit more unique, but there's some interesting interactions. Obviously, you've got the Ashe volley, therefore making the Seraphine slow straight into a root as well. So, without having to hit the double E, you can just throw it straight off the Ashe volley, and they get stopped where they are. Hey, they bring a lot of CC. Once again, we see a bot lane with a lot of CC. We're going to be able to see if they can actually do anything with it this game.
Yeah, as we get a little bit of bush control from Styx here. See if Kevin Bacon #Mog is aware. Absolutely.
Yeah, and Styx is obviously very comfortable on this Israel pick. So he'll know this matchup. He'll know how it goes. Doesn't look like he wants to play too aggressively level 1, though.
Yeah, good call. We're going to need to keep that health alive. Vi, and especially Poltron. I love Poltron's jungler play style, because I honestly think he would look for something like an early dive here, because getting Styx behind is going to be so key, a real key to this game, because at the end of the day, in terms of long-form team fights, if the Talia is allowed to do what she does, HKFC is going to be in trouble. They're not going to have the control over these team fights that they're going to want, because they have to play around the Talia E cooldown, and Ma, so efficient, he's not going to waste that cooldown.
No, and look, all it's going to take is one Talia E, and their whole team fight is fucked. All it takes is, Ari accidentally ulting over Talia E, and she's dead. Oh, early fighting in the mid lane here.
Yeah, half health on both mid laners. Talia, a bit of a more scaly pick. You don't have much kill potential early game, and with both sides taking TP, we're not going to be seeing that sort of same
early invade coming through from Poltron's Kittens.
Invade from Poltron, and that's first blood onto Dextrix there.
He's just done. See you later. That is a big hit for HKFC.
Most importantly, losing that red buff as well. We're going to get a nice little CS lead and the kill over onto Poltron. I mean, if he gets ahead, it's going to be so hard. Laughing Man is completely out of mana as well, and you can see the we've had two depressing top lane matchups in a row, God, haven't we? We've had the Mundo,
we very much have.
Look at this, isn't this just grim, man?
Ooh, and we're seeing a bit of scrapping happening in the bot lane here.
Certainly, it's On Vision, Smite's only on Dextrox here. They're gonna have.
They've got the prio to be able to take the scuttle anyway. So, and look, hey, giving Vi a couple of kills early is not good. That champ can very easily start to take over a game, especially once he hits that level 6.
Absolutely, and with the front line, it's pretty clear to me that Poltron is going to have to go the Sundered Sky build. He's not going to be able to go a more lethality based. You know, I've been seeing a little bit of Profane Hydra Vi and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you only really have this Scion and Vi to front line. But they can stay alive for a while. That Seraphine W, the shielding is so potent. You really have so much power to keep the sustain alive. I'm really hoping to see these combos you were talking about. You know, you get the Ashe slow into the Seraphine slow, and then they can double up the CC with the arrow and the ult. There's a real dream. There's a dream sequence that I'm wondering if we're going to see this game.
And look, got this massive pick opportunity for Poltron. You know, Vi ult, Ashe arrow, Seraphine R. You know, if they can get these picks taken off early or later in the game, it's going to be very advantageous for them.
We can see Poltron's sort of experience coming to light here. I mean, this drafting is I'd say honestly perfect, and even counterpicked with this Ambessa into the Scion, it doesn't seem to bother them a huge amount. And I'd say picking Ashe is a little bit risky, risky first pick, but I guess with the knowledge of the ADC first pick as well, they chose to do it, and it's really paid off with how this team comp has come together. But of course, HKFC, all they need is a couple of lucky team fights, and they will snowball this game to oblivion as a really huge chunk of health is taken from Laughing Man. Yeah.
I feel like every time we looked up, it's Laughing Man getting his ass beat. But I assume that's just how this matchup goes. And Scion just has to try and withstand the storm.
Yeah, and it is a very, very strong storm. 10 CS lead gathered as a lot of members focus around the mid lane. Are getting very close, but dodging the grand entrance from the Rakan. The triple stun.
That's a massive combo.
Down. The Weaver's Wall is coming out and does catch this Rakan on the other side of it. A huge amount of damage, forced to flash away. The counter engage from Poltron with that flash.
What a massive
really
fight.
Nice.
Yeah,
really good.
And look,
fight.
just high-level fighting we're seeing from both teams in that scenario. But really, Poltron's Kitten's just able to take it away with the W there.
Yeah, look at that stun. All three members
it's
of
just
HKFC
massive.
rooted there. It really is.
And the Weaver's Wall just
perfect.
to be an absolute nuisance. Get that flash from the Rakan, stop any future engages. And the Poltron Q flash there. Really just catching that Vi engage. Call it luck, call it skill. Either way, it looked cool to me.
It certainly did. And more importantly, now that these flashes are down, we're going to be seeing if any team wants to take a slightly more riskier play. We don't have a flash on the junglers, and we don't have a flash on the mid laners. While that benefits Ari more, but ult will be down for at least the next 90 seconds. Scion just ulting back. I've got to get some CS.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what I wanted to ask you, how do you feel the matchup goes between Goonscape and Hello? Like, how do you feel? You know, do you feel like you've got a bit of, insight onto that?
Well, Goonscape and Hello. I mean, it's a matchup as old as time. Truly, I am of course playing on my second screen.
Of course,
I think Ari is it's really tough, isn't it? Because how do you ever your engage with Ari is quite decently what's it called? Like, it's obvious when an Ari is pretty much going to engage. Telegraphed.
It's very predictable. Telegraphed. Yeah.
And with how quick those Talia rocks can come out as once again
every time.
Just like.
And this time he goes down to Byleth.
He's finally got
He's trying to give him a little bit of a beat down on the way out. He's picking up some of the creeps, but Byleth says, no, mate. No, you do not get this way.
I love the fact you said every time we pan to top, it just looks worse and worse.
Literally every time.
And it literally does. It literally does. It's Project Laughing Man is going to be a little bit behind. It can still come online here. That ult is not going to be available on no TP, so he's just got to stomp his way back to lane.
Yep.
As game goes back into this sort of natural farming state. Grubs are up, and they have the prio with the Scion death.
Now we're just seeing the trade. A good trade here from Poltron, really picking up his first dragon. And, if they do keep falling behind, it gives them a bit more time to scale up with that Scion and that Talia as well.
Absolutely. Getting a Kraken Slayer on this Ashe. As we're getting this, Ezreal's going for a slightly bit of a slower online build, probably that Trinity Force Mana Mune, but once those two items, I mean, that power spike is so insane for him.
Yep, exactly.
There isn't a huge amount to cancel the Rakan engage. They don't have much peel in terms, like once this Talia E is down, Rakan does have free roam to just run around and charm everyone. So the dream for HKFC is just waiting. It's a patience game. Once that E goes down, oh, laughing man. Oh,
that matchup is miserable.
It's so grim.
It's like, let me throw my Q. Oh wait, you're not there anymore. Oh, laughing man.
Every trade, Violet is getting all 3 Drakehound steps and Qs off, and it's just chunking him down so much. Laughing man needs to get all the CS, but it's running rough. It's running real rough.
I do hope Laughing man doesn't mind taking a beating, because that's all he's doing at this point.
Absolutely.
Look, he's not that far behind in CS.
No,
you know?
No, that's true. It's true.
Could be worse, and in terms of XP, he's staying there. And that's going to be the main thing, right? Like, if he goes down a little bit in gold, it's whatever. But if he's staying up in XP, at least he's still in the game.
I want to ask you, Dodge, should we have expected a little bit more action in this bot lane? It's been quite
Look, I thought we were going to have it. I thought we were going to see a bit more. I thought Styx was going to be trying to make his mark, but, you know, maybe this Ashe pick really just locks it down, and Styx is going with the Ezreal for the comfort pick. Maybe he's a bit nervous, mate.
I mean, yeah, as we said, whoever loses this game is also out of the tournament completely. So everyone does have nerves high. They want that juicy prize pool.
Yeah, man.
One wrong move could make you lose out on $2,420. You really don't want to make that move.
Oh, especially if you're coming up against Kevin Bacon #Mog, you know?
Absolutely.
It's a scary sight to see against you in the end as the laner.
It truly is. I had a terrible experience with Kevin Bacon. Yeah, I ran him down. Well, not on purpose, of course, but I went about 0-6 on Pantheon a week or so ago, and he was on center, and it wasn't pretty, and I always meant to make it up to him, and hopefully that's why I'm rooting for him this game, at least in spirit. Violet has full access to this wave, however he wants it.
We're seeing a bit of movement coming towards this top lane, as well as we're seeing the movement from Poltron's kittens. Ooh, maybe looking to pick up a bit of a kill on this Ahri. Vi does have the ultimate available.
As we get the Vault Breaker charged up here from Poltron, but choosing not to go in. Dextros in a slightly bad position here. Hiding in this tri-bush is found immediately. We do get an engage from Rakan. Grand entrance in, but the Seraphine ult is here. Charming that Rakan. Look at those Talia E's. They can't go in. The public execution is here. Ahri getting another reset. Violet's getting a little bit low. Laughing Man is here as well.
Oh, massive Weaver's Wall.
With the Weaver's Wall. The fight still continues in the bot side, but look how tanky this Seraphine is somehow. There's no damage from Goonscape here. 1v2 support as that fight goes in the favor of Poltron's kittens.
And it was very clutch because Kevin Bacon hit the cross map arrow onto Ma. Sorry, not Ma, onto Tally. Tally just sat there in the middle of his ult doing fuck all for about half of that fight. So,
a Nicoya arrow indeed we get there.
Exactly.
Doesn't
Nicoya in spirit.
Was there an Ezreal ult? I must have missed it. But
no, he's
that
just
was
ulted now.
As well. Oh, I see. And yeah, take a look
it's
here.
Not
we
up
see
right
the
now.
arrow coming in. Look at the arrow coming in. Watch it
Bomba.
closely. And that's a full 3 seconds. You are stunned for any chance at counter engage. And Violet, even with all these dodges, Drakehound's step is not enough to get away from the likes of Poltron.
Amazing Weaver's Wall too.
Look how much damage Passionless soaked there, by the way, with just a redemption. I didn't realize Seraphine was that tanky.
Yeah, I guess so. Very surprising, to be honest. Normally Seraphine does kind of... she just gets hit by a gust of wind and falls over.
Yeah, blown over.
I must have missed the patch where she became a tank.
Absolutely. I
must have missed that
when
one.
That happened. It was with the jungle upgrade.
Must have been. She might actually be a jungler now. They're kind of making anybody a fucking jungler these days.
They buffed them, didn't they? As we take a look, by the way, even though that fight went so in the favor of Poltron's kittens, HKFC CSing very well and keeping only about a 1k gold difference. It's about to become 2, but that's still really good for the 3-kill disparity that's gone on over the way to Poltron's kittens.
Yeah, Tally do be chovying right now. 135 CS in 13 minutes. He's
absolutely.
Somehow he's holding up.
A really interesting. I'm curious of the build path here. He's gone for the Blackfire over the typical Malignance route. Is that normal for an Ahri?
Honestly, maybe it's just to try and help deal with the Scion, you know?
Yeah,
I think
true.
Malignant's...
Someone's going to have to get through him.
Yeah, exactly. Just to give... He realizes there's going to be a bit of tankiness coming through.
Ooh,
Even Talia building up the stairs.
Poor Laughing Man. It's going to be a 3-man dive. He ults to counter.
The redemption?
The Scion is decently tanky, and Mara's here.
Oh,
you ain't
my
diving, Laughing Man. We'll help out. Project Laughing Man still online. You're forced to back away. A beautiful wall coming in to save Laughing Man's life. And Poltron's bot side to maybe collect something on Styx, but Styx is aware. Give me a Krug.
He got one of the little ones. Two of the little ones.
Of them.
Get him, Styx.
Poltron is tanky.
Tickling him.
Just
He's giving him a little tickle.
Die. Yeah, what is...
Poltron's like, oh, thanks for scratching my back, bro. It's getting a bit itchy.
There's no item on this Ezreal, and he's doing nothing. It's like a mosquito.
Nah. And like you said earlier, you know, is this Ezreal going to be able to push through these tanks? Even though Poltron's not really a tank, but he's got that XP level would be... Yeah.
Just a ruby crystal or something. Look at this dive again. It looks good at the start, but Dextrox takes that tower aggro, or seemingly Dextrox takes it early, but it's such a good counter engage from Marl, getting those rocks out. And Byleth, the moment they see that Weaver's Wall, Byleth jumps out. A little bit of a miscommunication, and then we lose, of course, 400 CS. We lose that.
And they're so lucky because it could have been way worse. Kevin Bacon's arrow only just missed.
Yes.
Only just
absolutely.
missed. So got to keep an eye on those because he loves throwing them across the map, apparently.
I love keeping track of how many arrows miss or land. Ooh, a little bit of a dodge. A nice little sidestep from the Ari here. Tallywhack is known for it.
Poltron
coming back for seconds. Well, no, just a Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare as we move towards this Rift Herald. But with the pings coming out, HKFC want to contest.
Yep.
We're down 2k gold, but we're not scared. The engage from Ari landing onto Mar here. Double charms going out, and they are down. They don't have access to this Talia E, and they are doing so much damage to Poltron. Sundered Sky healing him up, but it's not going to be enough. The Enchanted Arrow stopping Dexterous in his plans, but it doesn't matter, and they take down 2 members of Poltron's Kittens there.
We've still got the Ambassador already. Ashby, look
out.
out.
Eating the public execution.
Unable to flash it.
Grand entrance. Triple stun, and Laughing Man, the train is in. He'll double up the stuns.
Hold up, Laughing Man.
A huge amount of damage, but Laughing Man is doing damage as it will trade 1 kill. But Styx
he gets
online
2
with that Trinity, and now the Rift Herald will go over to HKFC. They want to keep it going. They really wanted to keep that fight going.
Yeah. No, I don't know if Seraphine just didn't have ult earlier, or maybe she felt like saving it till then. Not really sure what's going on there.
Style points. I mean, it was
a
beautiful
hit the flash backwards.
And we see, I mean, once those rocks come out, if you're able to just dodge around them, Mar is at such a disadvantage, and you can just catch them out because we do have so much mobility. There's you know, there's an Ambassador, there's a Rakan, there's a Xin Jiao. If you don't play perfectly, you're gonna have a rough time.
Yeah, exactly. And this was a big combo. We just needed to see it earlier. Massive ult coming through from Laughing Man.
Yeah, if those 2 members of the team were in that past team fight, it certainly might have gone more in the favor of Poltron's Kittens, but just the fact that it was so extended, we get a glimpse of what could have been.
Yeah, and we did see that Blackfire Torch really coming through clutch for Tally there, able to really start to stack up that passive during that fight. Fight lasted for so long, and a massive pick onto Talia with that charm as well to really kick off that fight.
We sort of, the team of Poltron's Kittens does, while everything centers around this Talia, the moment that the Talia is gone, it collapses a little bit. Poltron looking for Byleth here, but that's a tanky Ambassador. The full Black Cleaver and Eclipse has been done, so even with this full engage, it's probably not enough. And she does dodge out of the rank, but Poltron
what is going on?
Kevin Bacon #Mog. Landing these like crazy. There was a solo onto Laughing Man up top from Tally here. No CS as well from that passive given. Little bit of trade going over on both sides, but we'll see. Comes out on head. Poltron.
Ooh, Poltron caught with his pants down.
Extras and Passionless is here. Forced to ult defensively, pushing
Big
them away, but
Dextro.
Poltron isn't done. And there's the Seraphine ult, catching out Dextrous there. The jungle is mine.
Poltron was caught with his pants down, but he was not sad about it. He was happy to see Dextrox, so I don't know what's going on there. But they're able to pick up that kill, even though Dextrox did manage to dodge out on the double Seraphine E.
Yeah, and it's sort of what's happened here is I believe, Dexterous is going to go for a very similar build path in the same way as Poltron, but because Poltron got such a strong early lead just from that first invade kill, he's got this item advantage and he's doing so much. He's so tanky, and we're really going to need some outplays in order to stop him from getting further and further ahead. We have the Dragon Spawn though, and as we've seen with these two teams, they love contesting.
Yeah, and look, I mean, Kevin Bacon really he's holding his own with the Ash arrows. He's trying to farm up. Look, I don't imagine he's going to be putting out anywhere near as much damage as his Ezreal. Because who's he allowed to hit? A misinput seen there from the Ambessa. Misinput.
Slightly, very slightly.
Very slight misinput. He might have hit his mouse on his keyboard or something, not sure.
Oh, they don't actually get vision in that close bush. Laughing Man Sion. Choo choo. Oh, and a beautiful Weaver's Wall to stop it up. He goes right into the wall. Caliwacker is in the fight. They've cut these two off, and Poltron is taking a lot of damage. But the Thunder Sky keeping him alive. Not buying enough time. Dexter's still in the pit. Is smiting the dragon to collect it though.
Wow.
They will trade it down. It was a very big split fight.
Yep.
Going towards the way in terms of kills of Poltron's hitters, but picking up that dragon might be what HKFC really needs.
Now they get to pick up mid tower here potentially as well. Oh, maybe not.
Ooh, lovely little charm here. Sticks getting caught out by having to cleanse as well. Cleansing nothing goes down. Besides a small slow and having to flash as well. But the charm
this combo
onto Kevin Bacon. Hashtag Mog. Ma wants more. Another kill and a second one. Oh my god.
Holy, he came to play.
Holy, Sticks was not expecting that. Your flash was already down. Don't be in range.
You guys might be holding hands, but you guys are holding hands in base. Holy moly. Big moves from Ma there.
It's an extended fight, and they're so close to tower. It actually doesn't look good for Poltron's Kittens because they get hit by that charm. But look, Ma is just landing everything that needs to be landed. Flash.
Yeah. Just hitting everything. Hitting everything.
Really is. High ATAR plays in the mid lane as we watch right now. Poltron clearing this jungle. He's had it for most of the game. Look at this CS lead he's got here. 40, roughly almost, 40 CS lead. It is a pretty nasty turn of events as we get a 3k gold lead over to the side of Poltron's Kittens. Yeah, look at this gold value here. Laughing Man has been keeping up and has been collecting a lot of kills.
Yeah.
And he's in here with the Sundering Stam. Dexterous flashing in. Poltron half health, passionless low as well. Forced to flash ult away, but it's not going to be enough. He falls. Enchanted arrow catching up Dexterous. Poltron's here. Getting public. We executed. Flash in from Byleth.
My
Ma
God.
putting out so much damage. It's just Poltron and Byleth now, but Ma's here for the day. Don't you worry. I've got the damage.
Oh, my.
Follow it up. We are a team.
We're literally seeing Kevin Bacon just playing cross map. This guy, I don't know if he's been in any fights yet, but he's hitting arrows in every fight they win. He's hit an arrow, and then Laughing Man said, "Hey, you beat on me all lane. I'm gonna beat on you now." So
Look at this. We have to keep track of the Ash arrow. It's a beautiful flash engage from Dexterous there, and they do catch out the Seraphine, but just look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, look at where the Ash is. He's clearing top wave. But it does not matter that Byleth is playing out of his mind, zoning Poltron away, because Ma just has so much damage now, and Poltron's that little Sundered Sky chugging away, healing him more than you possibly believe. Man,
yeah, we really are seeing that Talia come online now. She's so strong with these kills that she's been able to pick up. She's almost at that decap too, and that power is going to sky. There it is there. It's picked up now. That is some big damage, as well as the Blighting Jewel to really cut through any of that MR that's only been picked up so far by Dextrox.
Yeah, and it's gonna be, you've got to be thinking on the sides of HKFC. We need to get this to Leah. She doesn't have a Zhonya's. She is able to be caught down, and if we want to win this game, if we don't want to be out of this tournament, that's what we need to do.
Yep. That's crazy. With all these arrows, I thought Kevin Bacon would be going for like the Malignance Axiom Arc build, but he's been able to sit on this side lane and get ahead in CS. He's pulled up a level lead as well onto Sticks, and we're going to be able to see Ash maybe do a bit of work in these upcoming team fights.
Yeah, it's really that 3-item power spike on Ashe that you start actually seeing a bit of damage over the slows. And with that BF sword, they wouldn't be too far away as Poltron is here. Sticks, good luck, you've got to run. Although, the aura
Poltron's
alone
just teasing
is
him.
enough. Yeah, the aura alone. Poltron doesn't want the smoke. Sticks with a cigar ready. Scuttle crab though, for free.
Yeah.
No congestion.
We got 12 seconds on the dragon coming up. I don't know if we're going to see a contest coming out from HKFC.
Yeah. Rakan is hovering around Sticks, and Poltron is so acutely aware of that, but it's going to be really hard when you have this Ahri topside. And while Tallywacker does have TP available, with all this vision control from the Prio, it's so hard to just try and contest this dragon. And it's not Soul yet. While you really don't want to be given third Drake, you can afford to. It's not good, but you can afford to. Sticks, no vision. Be very careful in this bush. You need to be so careful. You have no vision. You're not going to make the play. Both teams, a loaded gun in their hands. Who's going to shoot the first bullet?
We're going to see Weavers will come through.
Baron sniffing around this pit. Laughing Man has entered the river. Starting the dragon. Playing both sides of the river here. Tribush has been collected. Rakan, you don't want to face check Talia Ease very early. This would be the moment. 8-second cooldown on that ability. They can do whatever they want. Look how scared Poltron team is now. The Weaver's Wall is going to come down, but Howard can't get in there. Mark
cutting him off. They got to go in. They got to
arrow
go out.
hitting onto it. Here's the combo. Laughing Man, choo-choo. And Bessa is down. Dexterous is frontlining here. Ult, not enough to do anything.
Both the junglers are down.
Ahri's down and coming in with the double
Laughing Man picking up the dragon.
There is so much damage on the side of Poltron's kid in here. It's a beautiful flash charm onto Kevin Bacon #mod. But Sticks in the backline, forced to flash away. We're gonna need more damage, Sticks, if you have a chance of getting out here. Flash from Passionless, not on my watch. You cannot run away from this queen. But maybe you will be able to. A tower shot for your troubles. Mar isn't done that though. Hunting. They can smell the blood in the water. What can you do now? It's a perfect predict. It's a perfect predict from Mar. Oh my word. Pizza and pasta in Mar's belly tonight. You're eating good with that.
Another massive fight for Poltron's kittens. And in the middle of that, Laughing Man managed to pick up the dragon. He said, I've had it. I've had it with you guys. Laughing Man got the last hit. 30 HP, I think, was on that dragon. Maybe Scion Shield went off.
Look at this predict. Look at this predict. The Rylai's. Not only are you predicting the teleport, but you're predicting the teleport with the Rylai's, the phase shift. Oh my god, it was beautiful.
Yep. And Mara is playing out of his mind. He's really putting on a massive performance right now. 11, 1, and 10 on that Talia mid. 4 items.
And we have to talk about, and I mean no disrespect to Kevin Bacon #mod here, but the double support bot lane that we've seen, 1, 3, and 14, it's not an attack damage carry, but it is a sniping king. We saw the enchanted arrow hitting onto the Ambessa, and without the proper resistances here, they're finding them. That Ambessa's getting shredded so quickly.
Yeah. And look, I've heard of American Sniper. I was not aware that we were watching Oceanic Sniper with Kevin Bacon on this Ashe pick. It's been a real magical game for him. He's had so many cross-map arrows. It truly is something special.
And that fight did look good for HKFC. Mar using those E's a little bit early, and we saw how much prio that... Oh, as the Weaver's Wall is coming in, but it's an Ezreal. What are you going to do there?
And unfortunately, he just wasn't able to connect with that whole battery.
The charm landing onto the Seraphine there. Not a huge amount of damage as this tank Seraphine survives.
Tank Seraphine is just putting in work.
That is a 6 kill. Hold on.
That's a 3.5 item Ahri.
Rabadon's Ahri, Dodd. Yeah, that's a Rabadon's Ahri.
I don't know what's going on with the Seraphine pick. I may have to pick this champ up so maybe it can help me stop dying so much. Oh my god.
That's absurd how tanky she is. She didn't even get down to half on that. But we do get level 16.
Nom.
Both mid laners here. Poltron Kittens.
Ooh, the Baron started up.
This Baron might be off of vision.
Dextros is in base and Byleth is bot, so
they know in Byleth though, and that's an early Talia E. The engage time would be now a miss from the Scion. They've got them in this choke point here. Byleth already engaging with Laughing Man below. The enchanted arrow sniping the Ari, forced to R defensively running away, but Byleth is on Mars.
Bacon.
Is the damage enough? It's not enough. Getting E'd away. Sticks in the fight though. Last left.
Wow.
Taken down by Potron.
I don't know. They're just playing it so well.
Yeah, the lead
and
now.
HKFC are giving it their all, but unfortunately at this point their 5k go down and it's not looking too good. That snipe is unreal. What is going on, Mr. Bacon? Check this guy's PC, man.
Mog, he is nasty with them. And Poltron could just afford to sit in the back line there. Byleth is doing so much, but do you want to know the downfall of Byleth in that fight there? He took a moment, used some cooldowns on Laughing Man right at the start, and so wasn't there in the back line like he should have been. And so you just get that sort of eternal defeat in these team fights where maybe if he'd gotten a couple more rotations off, he could have taken down Ma, who still doesn't have Zhonya's. Baron going over.
Waiting for that Ashe to spawn.
I mean, these Ashe arrows have been completely insane.
They are ridiculous. And even, look, hey, Kevin Bacon was even in that fight. And he did hashtag Mog with the way he was kiting that team.
It's absurd. Like, threading the needle is an understatement.
Yeah.
As Rakan does get actually a really good little engage on Ma, but no follow-up from the team. Sitting around mid lane with this Baron. No, they're just 5 ARAMing mid. The Ari charm goes a little bit wild. Poltron engaging on the side. This dragon is going to be the what they want here. Weaver's Wall coming out, cutting off both members of the team, but it's a retreat from Poltron. The Weaver's Wall down now. Talia E is the ability to watch for the fire. The first miss. The arrow completely misses. Could this be bad?
Call off the fight.
Poltron's kitten. And the Talia E is down. They should have prior now. The time to go in would be now. The Ezreal ult does hit the Ashe. Poltron secures the dragon. It's a 4 done from the Seraphine ult. And Bessa is in the backline with 4 members. She's tanking a lot, but there's no damage onto Laughing Man. He's too tanky. Ma, too much damage. Run, Tallywhacker. You and Sticks are all that's left, keeping you alive in this tournament. Poltron, chase them down like the hound you are. You're not old enough to chase. We want to get more. The Scion Q landing onto the Ari. Sticks ain't get enough to get away as well. Take him down, Ma. The 4 Flash doing as many Qs as possible. They want them out of this tournament.
Yep. They want to send them packing. And it's looking like they're going to at this point.
With that Baron buff up, what can they do here?
It's a massive 10k gold lead at this point.
Certainly rough. When you get a team fight like that, there were moments, there were brief glimpses of it going well for HKFC. Kevin Bacon hashtag Mog finally missing an arrow. A Weaver's Wall splitting off the team, but forced to go down. And then an early use of the Talia E. You could have engaged the Ezreal ult, hitting a decent amount and chunking their ADC down. And we did see Mbessa like taking about 4 of the members. So much damage just being tanked. But without the damage putting out, it wasn't enough. They cannot get through. Laughing Man, he's too big.
Yeah, and look, we saw Laughing Man really even ulting Dextros, stopping him from even being able to get to that dragon. And we also saw that massive ultimate coming out from Passionless, flipping 3 of the team, just really stopping anything they could do to try and back up Byleth on that Mbessa in that backline.
I've got to say as well, and as an absolute lover, we are missing an item in this game that would maybe change it. I want you to look at how much shielding is on the side of Poltron's kittens. We have the Vi passive providing a shield. She's got the Sterax as well. You have the Scion W. You've got a Seraphs on that Talia. And then, of course, you have all the shielding being applied from the Seraphine. But where is our Serpent's Fang, Dodd? Where is the Serpent's Fang?
Where is the damage? You know?
It's
really
just not
rough.
There. As we come into the bot lane, the charm does land onto Poltron, who is forced to run away. Once again, keep track of that Talia E. That's what matters in these team fights.
Now we do see Sticks pick up the Bork as well, and that might be his only hope to really take down this Scion. Aside from that, I don't know
Reaver's
who's hurting
wall.
this guy.
Just cutting him off. I mean, this is perfect use from Ma. They can take this dragon. It's time to lock him down. He does get Embessa ulted, but Ash Arrow does go out. They've split the fight on both sides. Byleth, once again, taking on 2 members, but everyone is here to collapse. Try as you might. You're gonna lose another inhib and potentially the game. I have to say, you're out of this tournament, HKFC. Very if they get to the next. It's up to Kellywacker, the last hope. But it might be a bit rough as Kevin Bacon #Mog dives the fountain.
He sacrifices
and
himself to
takes
take down
out
Dally.
the game. Goes over to Poltron's Kittens. What? I mean, that game was beautiful. That game was beautiful. I want to ask, I want to say as well, we do have, thanks to Riot, we have access to codes. So I would love if everyone in chat put an MVP vote in on who you think was the most valuable player for that game. But Dodd, I leave the question to you. Who do you think is the most valuable player in that game?
Mate, it's got to be Ma. It's got to be Ma on that Talia pick. Just outstanding. I mean, some of those arrows from Kevin Bacon, though. Ooh,
weren't they good?
I don't know.
Weren't they good? Weren't they good?
Unreal. And to be honest, probably won them a lot of those fights. So
absolutely.
But
absolutely.
What about you? What's your pick?
Oh, man. Do you want to know something? It might be unorthodox, but we cannot underestimate how much Laughing Man did with how much he was bullied early. That Scion was so tanky, it absorbed so much pressure. It just kept some of the enemy team, some of HKFC, distracted for long enough for the other side of Poltron's Kittens to do what they need to do in these team fights. And he was always there, the ult chugging along. And even though it might have not hit every time, the pressure was there.
Yep. And I think it's so interesting to see the difference between game 1 and game 2, right? Different teams, similar picks, though. You've got the Scion instead of the Mundo, but the Scion managed to do what the Mundo couldn't and survive that laning phase, get tanky enough to really come through and be a nuisance. And the Ashe was hitting the arrows and actually getting stuff done. And it made that space for Ma to be a nuisance.
And honestly, we also just have to mention for a second Poltron. I mean, the jungle was played like a beautiful game of chess. The early invade setting up the rest of their team for victory. And we'll see if there's a victory as we do say goodbye to HKFC. And we say goodbye to you for a quick break before we get into the best of 3. This is a game you're going to want to stick around for. Fearless will be taking effect. Stay tuned as we take a short break.
See you soon.
And we are back. We're back. I mean, God, how do we even continue after a game like that?
I don't know, man. These games have just been banger after banger. But we've got a best of 3 coming up, and
yes.
I'm excited.
I am on the edge of my seat here. I love when, there's nothing better in Worlds when we get to these like second or third games and we can finally, for this tournament, get into a real best of 3. Let's pray that there's no Vanguard errors or anything as we take a look at these teams. I mean, these are the teams that we want in these extended fights. Who are you looking at in particular?
I mean, it's pretty hard to look past Violet and the Bulldog himself, coming up against Jaba and Kenvo. I think once again, it's going to be a pretty big bot matchup, but who knows? Last game it wasn't. Last game was Arrow versus Mystic Shot. That's where I'm looking. I'm looking at this Violet Bulldog bot lane, seeing how they're going to be able to perform in this game.
I see. I've seen how Rush Hour performs, and there's a certain individual I want to point out here, Mudley, a little bit of a sleeper in terms of these other big names. You've got Strawberries, very good top. You've got Derma, you've got Violet, you've got Bulldog, but Mudley has been the silent backbone, playing like Syndra, getting fed, and really putting in such. Oh, actually, I've just received some information. Ooh. I'm absolutely glazing Mudley here, but I believe Complex has been subbed in the mid lane. We're going to have to see mighty shoes to fill. Small, but silent shoes to fill. And I hope that we'll still be seeing a good thing. And then, of course, on the other side, a big matchup that we want to look out for, Derma v Porin, the junglers. Now, I think, at least in this game, the junglers, and I while there was a bit more of a mid influence in that last game, the junglers in this game are going to dictate how this is all played. Porin plays a very aggressive, very clinical jungle. And if Derma can match that, if Derma can keep up with how quickly Porin runs, how quickly he keeps that high tempo, it's going to make for a close game indeed for both teams. In terms of Kenvo as well, we're really going to need to see some good calls, some good teamwork to keep up with this bot lane. As you mentioned, I mean, what do you think? I mean, look at this.
Yeah, we're going to see a bit of spice. I think this game, I mean, and it's really exciting. This is a best of 3 because I think there's, best of 1, you could have a bit of a burger flip, but we're really going to be able to see who the better team is and how they're able to really formulate these drafts over the long haul.
Yeah, and we'll get into drafting right now. And honestly, I think in that last game, it was such the draft played such an important role, and it decides the whole game. We saw certain picks not really showing to light, Ezreal having such trouble getting through that Scion, same with the Ahri, and so one pick like that can really spell the downfall. But bans also incredibly important. Kiana taken away from Porin.
Yeah, really just taken away. I mean, he's been spamming it in solo queue the last couple of weeks as well, so it's an easy ban, because also that champion is ridiculous.
Isn't it
crazy? Give that champion 1 kill, you give that champion a bit of farm, and it takes over. So, Smolder ban coming through to take away from Violet.
Yeah, Smolder, a very good ban. We haven't actually seen much Smolder this tournament, and we still won't, because no one really wants to test the waters too much.
Looks like they're really just focusing down Porin.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Gwen is such a good champion to get out. We've seen in other games that Hallowed Mist. Holy, can it dodge abilities? Like, holy, can it just turn a team fight that looks good at the start into a disaster as we focus on getting Violet's champ pool out.
Yeah.
Kenvo knows what to
it really
do
just looks like the Poro ban versus the Poro bans versus the Violet bans right now. And to be honest, seems like this is the way to go.
Absolutely. I mean, you cannot allow any level of comfort. And the thing is, with this Fearless draft, it goes both ways, because what they lock in counts as bans for future games. So you might want to think about this first pick, because if there's a comfort pick on Rush Hour, next gen might want to take it away if they can play it as well. And so we'll see. We certainly will see as an Mbessa, and then Lulu. Once again, a focus on not allowing Violet to play, to be able to be facilitated here. We want to make sure nothing happens down in that bot lane. Orianna over to Complex.
Picked up by Complex. Yep. Yeah, I mean, nothing like a bit of stability. Bit of stability, that control mage in the mid lane, really just to kind of hold it down, farm it up, and could have a massive impact. Ooh, into the Akali matchup.
Yeah, Yes, we have seen that already, this matchup in particular. But unfortunately, we saw the Akali on a semi-losing version. The Akali needs to play so aggressive with this Orianna and needs to bully, or they find themselves floating in the water a bit as we do get a Jinx lock-in.
Yep.
J-Ba
Yeah,
here.
I mean, we're going to see that hyper carry. I believe we saw a pentakill earlier in the tournament from a Jinx as well.
We did the first, yes, exactly. The first
yeah.
pentakill of the tournament. Might be another one tonight, Dodd. You never know.
Hey, you never know. Ooh, the Lee Sin picked up a Dermo as well. So we might be seeing a couple of combinations coming through here with the Lee Sin.
Violet Yunara. Violet Yunara.
Yeah.
That is someone you do not want on a pick like Yunara. I mean, the ability to take over a team fight is so strong. You can just be wherever you need to be, dodge what you need to dodge. We saw Praedyth do so well.
I just ran
on
amok
pick.
with it.
Oh my god, it was I thought he was scripting volley bear.
yeah.
The bear.
Ooh.
I love the bear. I love a good volley bear. A really good pick into Lee Sin, actually. Whether it's a counter pick or not, I'm not entirely... my knowledge of jungle matchups isn't entirely there. But I do believe it's a good one in terms of these extended fights. And with a Lee Sin who does want, you either go for a more assassin-based build or you go for these extended bruiser builds.
Yeah.
It's certainly a good counter.
Yeah, exactly. And look, next gen really are. They're just focusing entirely on this bot lane, this rush hour bot lane. Are we going to see 5 bans? Maybe they're trying to take anything they can away from Bulldog at this point. And the Nautilus taken away from Kenvo, obviously, on the other side.
A good ban to take him out of one of his comforts. And I do think it will be 5 bans over to the bot lane. As it seems, sorry, the ban was changed to Rakan. Once again, probably very, very directed towards one individual.
Yeah.
Rush Hour's team. We'll see what Rush Hour bans for their 5th ban of the night. I think you certainly would want a Pantheon ban. Porrent's Pantheon, you know, that in which case they must be thinking somewhat of the sort that this is a Volibear top.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. In my opinion, well, I guess my opinion does not matter. We'll see how it goes in the game. Kenvo's Rel. Kenvo's Rel. Very potent, very strong. We can get some good mix up, a little bit of a bit of distraction and really good flash engages. We saw another Rel of this tournament. Gaffin Rel did really well. Did really, really well. Some great flash stuns. And we're going to get a Janna on the side to counter that Rel.
I really like that. I really like that Janna pickup. You know, it just helps with the disengage. Even Volibear as well gets him off your ass. Especially just able to create that space for the Yunara. And the Ornn picked up a Strawberries in the top lane. Yeah, that front line, just be able to create a little bit of space for the Yunara pick too.
When you have 3 people, or I should say now 4 people who want to sprint at you, you know, you want to get this Akali in there, you want to get this Rel in there, you want to get this Volibear in there, and you want to get this Poppy, say hello to the Janna who is just going to push you away. As it will be a Volibear jungle into this Lee Sin matchup, favored for Volibear. Top lane not looking too interactive. Poppy into tanks isn't certainly ideal. You do have a bit of max health damage, but I think we want to keep our eyes on this bot lane and mid lane in particular.
Yep. I think it's going to be a very spicy one, especially the Orianna Akali matchup. I don't think that's going to be a quiet one. I think we're going to see a lot of scrapping happening in between Stellar and Complex.
Absolutely, and we will get into game right now and see how this plays out.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Looks like a fairly standard level 1 coming up from both teams. Nothing too crazy happening right now.
Yeah, we haven't really seen many invades, all things considered. You know what we haven't seen either, Dodd? Not many Luxes. Not many Lux lock-ins.
None, actually. It's a bit of a tragedy.
It really is. Yeah, that's proof for you. Next year, we'll see Dodd Lux at its peak.
Exactly.
Do you think... What? Why a Bulldog here? We do get a little bit of something from Kenvo. As that Volibear E hits very heavy early.
It does.
In terms of how this jungle wants to go, I do think both junglers will be looking for this bot side. And Akali, Stellar on this Akali is suited for dives. Dives are so easy for an Akali once you get access to that perfect execution. And we We'll have to see because we need to get Violet behind. I mean, that should be every member of Next Gen is thinking that. Like, we cannot allow Violet to get ahead. I don't know if this
Violet's
is what you want. We have a fully
stacked
lethal
fight early.
tempo.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. That's a terrible trade as both of Team Next Gen 2026 go down half health, and now we can just zone them off this wave.
Yeah, this is not what you want to be seeing if you're Next Gen.
Yeah,
like you said, you want to be able to keep Violet down, but from level 1, it's looking to go the other way.
We've seen this a couple times throughout these games where that level 1 bush control is not respected in the slightest. You know, it's not focused on early. And while both teams hovered mid, they certainly could have helped, you know, get some vision on these bushes and get some prio to ensure that the situation that's occurring right now doesn't happen. And we'll see if it has an impact in the long run of this game.
Yep, and we also did see, while everyone else was running around mid lane, Violet rushed towards those bushes level 1. So he wanted to get that bush control. And one of the other things we're seeing is that early summoner spell usage, you know, the aggressive heal coming out of Rush Hour, just because once that, you know, you don't need it. These guys are at half HP, they're not going to be looking to fight. So you just have so much more control and they're so scared already.
You want to chunk them down and... Yeah, now of course the tower coming through, it's going to be harder and harder to CS for Jaber. And when you're on these hyperscaling ADCs, this Jinx is going to take a while to come online. You're going to need a Penta or something to get the gold you need.
Exactly. And I think, funnily enough, it's very much is going to come down to the support this game. You know, we're going to be able to see Janna keeping Kenvo away on that rel. Janna's going to be able to try and do a lot of disengaging. And
both cannons
whether Bulldog is up to it or not, we will find out.
I despise Poppy, I really do, in terms of the top lane matchup. That champion always does so much damage and can do so much and will help secure the prio, at least for this scuttle. Derma is topside though, and Smite's up though on both sides.
Looks like he's just going to head towards that bottom crab.
Very free for Horan. Straight into the back.
Yeah, he's pretty happy with how things have gone so far, I'd say.
In terms of scaling, which team prefers the longer game? Which team prefers the less action?
Look, I mean, you know, you look at Jinx and you think Jinx's team, but honestly, I've got to go with Rush Hour. They've got such a good scaling comp with the Yunara, and then you've always got the Ornn. You know, the more time, the more levels, the better items you get. And Orianna scales crazy good too. Yeah, Lee Sin falls off and turns into a bit of a kick bot, but by that point, you've got massive damage coming through from Yunara and the Orianna that you're able to just get through everything else.
Yeah, and something about the Akali pick, I personally, I'm not a giant fan of it because we've seen it not be hugely useful. While we've seen it do a couple of good flanks and put out some damage, in terms of assassins, if it doesn't get these kills early, it just falls a little bit flat. And again, especially against a comp which has, you know, good peel, like a Janna. You know, you'll get the Hextag alternator, you might get, you know, the rocket belt and stuff. Ooh. Both cannons collected. You might get that Hextech alternator, but I mean, a Janna shield is pretty big, and even with a full combo, if you're not killing that Yunara in full combo, you just find yourself in the back line, and without a shroud, an Akali is easy pickings.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the things we're going to see is very much that this the next gen have to be the ones to create the action. They have to be the ones to step forwards, and as we are seeing, bit of action coming through from Volibear.
Come here. And low mana from Complex. We do see Derma is on this dragon and chose not to even attempt to walk up to Complex to save them, but they have so much prio with this bot lane. I mean,
interestingly enough, Stella's already down XP prior to this wave, so already down a level. Probably about to ding 6 right about now, but it's not a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that, there's the 6, but those minions run the tower a decent amount. Yeah. So we have, I don't know when that lead was gained, but it was a good lead nonetheless. Get a little bit of fighting top, but I mean, two bees stinging each other doesn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, exactly. And we do, I mean, Ornn is just, he's going to be the weak side this game, surely. So he's just got to try and survive. Just like we've seen in the last couple of games, that tanky top lane is just going to try and stay alive and get that XP. And Ornn is the same. You know, as long as he can get those levels, that's all he cares about. He just wants that XP. So
Yeah.
even if he's in lane, he's getting that level. And then, oh, here we go.
Jaber's forced to retreat as that kick does land
my.
with the Orianna ult. It's going to be a flash from Jaber and Kenvo there. They escape with their lives. But what's more important is the wave that they lose. A 30 CS lead? Look at this wave. Okay, it's not a cannon wave, but you're still going to have to retreat. It's 2 waves. So much XP. You're only level 4. And there's a dive top lane onto Ornn here, who will cancel the first knockup, but First Blood does go over to Team Next Gen. But is that the trade you want to make? Leaving your Jinx so far behind? Is Poppy the champion you want to get ahead? Is Ornn the champion you want to get behind?
Yeah, look, and we've even seen Jinx pick up that cull, like that very much desperation. And yeah, look, eventually she'll end up with more gold. At this point, it's looking pretty pathetic when you're coming up against Yunara, who's walking back to the lane with that.
Oh my god, the Heartbound Axe and the Rectrix, that's a high damage dealing Yunara, certainly.
Oh yeah. And look, Janna's great at disengaging, but man, she is very annoying and can sometimes catch you out on the engage too.
Yeah, I've been insect a couple times by a Janna Hurricane.
I don't believe
it. Yes, I know.
A man
I know.
of
it's
your caliber?
Really. I know. I think I'm a hard stuck D1 at the moment, but we don't need to talk about that.
I haven't seen it. You'll be fine.
Oh, you see, exactly. The knowledge is there. It's fine. But it certainly could happen this game. And if you can, I mean, not even an insect, but if you could just push that Akali out of the shroud, you're in really deep trouble, because Akali is so reliant on that shroud to survive. And we've already seen, I mean, wasn't it so beautifully timed as they do go for the grubs here, and they will be given freely, but that Orianna ult with the Lee Sin,
Another dive happening in the bot lane here.
A huge dive. Jaber already down. Lee Sin Q landing, kicking away Kenvo. You're not going to be able to get away, and that's going to be kills on Violet. Oh dear. Turret, another plate gone down. Violet 40 CS ahead.
Yeah.
Jinx, I mean, 90 stacks on this cull. Take a look.
You don't even want to look.
Oh dear, it's very rough. We need Porin. I know he's playing topside, but can you leave your Jinx out to dry like this? It's certainly a risky play. You got the Gromp, but we really need to be helping her out. She's got 89 stacks on that cull.
Yeah, it's so hard. Because what's Porin gonna do? Go there, stand there, hold his hand? Yeah. I mean, the Jinx is so weak she can hardly fight back.
Certainly. I mean, you have, in terms of AD, you have the 7 AD from the cull, and then you've got a longsword, and that's it.
Yeah, and then you got a Kraken. on Violet.
That's crazy.
So he's definitely not crack-a-lacking right now.
Absolutely not. Kenvo has to dodge this last Lee Sin Q. Derma wants it. It's gonna land. Beats of Warfare going over. Shielding, healing. Bulldog tanking that tower shot as well. Jaber, you're gonna have to run, but the flash slow. Derma's here. Cyclone landing. Good luck. You're down
There's
again,
that engage.
0-2. That cull hasn't moved, and yes, Porin's here, but your tower's already on its last plate.
It's
Violet's
a 50
up.
CS lead.
Look at the Kraken. It's a 10-minute Kraken.
Yeah, look, we were talking before the stream tonight that the fastest games have been, what, 23 minutes? 22 minutes?
Dodd, you might be in for a treat. We might be
seeing something tonight.
Look, oh my god, it's the support's nightmare. You come back to lane after getting killed. You finally have an item, and you see in your ADC's inventory a Scout's fucking slingshot compared to a Kraken. Jaber, half health from 2 autos.
Violet's
what are you doing engaging
1v2ing.
Kenvo? It doesn't matter. He's got so much damage with this Kraken. He clears a wave in seconds. Another dive is looked at, and Jaber's just having to leave this tower. A TP, but they've got damage. Kraken, look at Derma, he's here. You're going to just need to run, Kenvo, because Violet's here.
Another
and the
TP coming in from Poppy.
Violet is forced to retreat. They might not want the extended trade, and you're pushed back, you're gone.
Welcome to bot lane, Zyla.
God.
Welcome to bot lane.
Just going to be able to get free plates topside. They might be able to trade a dragon here. In fairness, Violet did go down to half and isn't able to fight. But that's all you're getting, and losing power.
Yeah.
Going over. It's certainly grim, and another summoner spell having to be used just in order for this Ornn not to take an entire tower. Only collecting 3 CS for your trouble, 2 CS for your trouble. Rough straits indeed. Rocky waters for the likes of Rush Hour. Not for the likes of Next Gen.
Well, not for Rush Hour.
Yeah, no. Emoting in the face of Xaylia.
When you turn up mid lane as the top laner and you're 1 level up on the ADC, you're a bit worried.
Man.
Violet
Certainly.
Yeah.
Do you know what's crazy, Dodd? It's only 12 minutes in. There's still 2 minutes on plates, and it's all Violets for the taking. If they should just facilitate this plate taking, and Violet can get even more gold. Look at the gold lead.
There's a 2K
at 12 minutes.
It is unreal.
Yeah, and honestly, not to be
60
ignored.
CS lead at 12 minutes.
We discussed it a little bit in draft as well. I don't like how Akali has played such a chill lane.
Yep.
You need to be getting ahead early and allowing an Orianna, like while it is ranged into melee, an Orianna getting ahead, and honestly with that Roa build, being tanky is what you need here. You have the damage from Violet. He's already got his Kraken, so you can afford to go a tankier build, and it's going to be really rough to do what you need to do with both of these teams.
Yeah, look, and credit to Complex, right? We saw Porn looking to try and make something happen. A little bit of a scuffle here, but like you said, 2 bees stinging each other doesn't really do too much.
It's nothing.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, buddy, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. But yeah, like, credit to Complex. He just neutralized the lane. That's all he needed to do. He looks bot, and his bot lane is 60 CS up. He thinks, okay, I don't have to do anything except not die. So, yeah, seeing this Roa build come out, Strawberries has been under a bit of fire, but, like, I don't
like how this dive looks, Dodd. I don't like how this dive looks. I really hope Porin isn't looking here. I know he has the Fury of the Storm. He can turn off that tower, but Dermal will collect that red buff, and now they do have vision on Porin. The kick. A little bit wide, not landing that Q.
Yeah, Porin just kind of standing around doing nothing for a while. None of his camps are up, so it's not like he's losing out on too much, but he's struggling to make anything happen. He's got the only kill in the game for that team, and unfortunately, it's not enough.
Damn, just one of those stray. Once that Q is active on this Yunara, I mean, damage is immense. They didn't get the extra plates, but I mean, they already got mid-tier 1 down to half. Full access now with the Rel engage down. Oh, jeez. I know for sure. Yeah?
I've got to imagine Violet's sitting on a pretty penny right now.
I was thinking
much
the
gold in the
exact same
bank.
thing. Yeah, and take a look at this little scuffle in the top lane with that Roa. Orianna is so tanky, as there was a solo actually down in the bot lane. Xaylia getting onto Strawberries there and able to take him down. That Sundered Sky to the Sunfire, seemingly enough.
Yeah,
I like the tier as well. Fimbulwinter will be coming through. Honestly, Poppy is a strong enough champion. If she is able to get onto Violet, let's just say in the hypothetical that Janna isn't there or has maybe used her appealing abilities.
Yep.
If the stun, if the Poppy, can W the little dash from Yunara, there is a chance that outplay potential is available to Next Gen for sure.
Well, and that's the interesting thing about that matchup and about Yunara is Yunara ults and actually makes herself more vulnerable when it comes to Poppy. Without the ultimate, she's not dashing. She's just running a little bit faster. So, I mean, it's going to be up to Violet. And look, judging from what we've seen already, Violet knows what he's doing.
Yes.
And Bulldog is very much holding his hand for the rest of this game, I would say. So I don't know if they're going to be able to find that, but who knows?
Yeah, Rift Herald is going over to Rush Hour here. I do want to say I kind of love Violet greedy backing here, as he does get the next back, Zeal, and two more. Looks like that's going to be turned into a what's that item called where it does multiple hits on multiple enemies?
Runans?
Runans, that's it. I believe that's what he's going for second. So great with the Kraken, interacts with the Kraken so well, and the Yunara. A Q. It's Jaber, the whims of this Bulldog barking away.
Yeah.
So much CS. Look at this lead, this CS lead.
They haven't been able to pull too much further ahead, but I mean, 70 CS is 70 CS.
Crazy. Dragon. They do want to contest potentially. A
They are
flash
getting a
over
TP
from
in.
Zalia. They are on this Yunara, and he's kicked out with the Poppy R. Bulldog running away from Porin. Porin is going to be able to collect strawberries. Caught out here. Stella is caught as well, but it's a trade over from both sides. We lose the top laner for the mid laner, and that's not too bad, but the problem is Violet is still in this team fight, although backing on low health. Will they be forced to give this dragon? Derma doesn't want to. The Orianna complete here and ready to ult if need be. They want to recollapse. They're not giving this dragon too freely. This is the only opportunity as Violet comes back. Rift Herald going down from Derma here. Dragon on half health. Rift Herald is down. No one wants to hit it though. You're just giving time for Violet to come back. But look, Violet's in the mid lane. We're driving this truck. He might be a blind monk, but he's gonna hit Jaber. The tornado landing on both the TP in from Ornn. Complex finding himself in the middle. Using that Orianna knock-up. Jaber not collecting any resets here. Forced off from Derma. But Violet and Zalia taken down as well as it just turns in the favor of Rush Hour. So much wasted time. Just they did not know whether they wanted to stay on this dragon or not, and Violet was able to get a full reset off and clear the mid wave, by the way, allowing him to get his second item and get in that fight. It was just a little bit too slow, and he's oh dear, he's taking a tier 2 as well. God, look at the old lead.
I don't even. He's picked up the Phantom Dancer and. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a 4K gold lead in just the ADC alone. It's not what you want to see. Massive ult here from Zyla.
Good from Zalia. They have to collect something, and they do. Look at Jaber's damage, though. So little on this Ornn. And Stella did buy time, keeping Violet away. But then they just wasted so much time here. And it was a really good knock-up on Jaber. And they, you know, Derma didn't decide to keep going in. But Jaber's damage is so low. And the Orianna
shockwave is just so good.
Oh my god. It was so potent. Violet's in the fight now. What are you going to do? He's a 2-item Yunara.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Here we see.
Once again here, we'll get ulted on. Violet isn't tanky enough though, but Jaber doesn't have any damage. He does go down, but the shutdown goes over to the Rel, and it looks like Jaber will be collected by the Ornn as well. Bulldog barely able to escape, saved by the Orianna ult. It's just Rel in here. Derma is gonna take down the Rel. They do get Bulldog, but it's so heavy. He is in it. The fight is still going. Derma chasing this Akali as Kenpo goes down to the rest of the team. Zalia found themselves alone. Going down as well. So much gold, even these kills. We were able to collect the Yunara bounty, but it went on Kenvo, Dodd. 1,000 gold over to Kenvo.
We love a fed Rel.
We love a fed Rel. That's going to be a tanky Rel. But is it tankiness they need, or is it damage? As Derma is on 7 kills. There is another 1,000 gold bounty completely for the taking, but are they going to take it is the question.
Yeah. And Kenvo must have been watching a little bit of Gavin learning how to steal kills on Rel, so it's just the way of life for Gavin.
Rel players, am I right?
You are right, sir.
Does spawn. They don't catch Mighty Bulldog, although a double stun. It does hit Violet. Stella's in here. We need the damage from the Akali, but the Shuriken goes wild, and Violet's stacked up now. Without that little bit of a surprise.
Disrespect. We're seeing a bit of disrespect come through from the Rush Hour ball lane. They're not giving them the space that they need to, and you know, as we just saw, it resulted in Violet getting picked.
Yeah, with Derma topside as well, that could have been a really good opportunity for next gen. But they chose not to take it, which might have been the right play. But honestly, with someone that big, and that's an IE coming third, you need to take an opportunity now. You really need to, because if they allowed to let them get further ahead, it's going to be bad. Look at this flank. Stella's actually behind them here. Look at this.
How they check
this bush.
Oh my
They're
Lord.
going on it. And the Shuriken lands on Derma.
Ulting over,
to away. Violet
going
finds himself alone in the
Violet's
dragon
suicidal.
pit. Not what you want.
Yo, check that man's
taking them
PayPal.
Down. What are you doing?
Payola is happening in the LOR.
Who knows what the plan was there? We do have this Ornn in the top side. A beautiful flash engage. Ooh, finding the Orianna going down. There is resets on this Jinx, but look how tanky Derma is. The gold lead is here. And he's going to try his best to get onto the Jinx, but the Jinx gets resets. 1,000 gold over to Jayba.
Triple kill for the Janna, though.
Into Mighty Bulldog. Corrin's still alive, but no mana. You're not going to be able to get W resets. You're not going to be able to get that extra healing. It's going to be a wipe on both sides.
I don't know what Violet's doing. He must have been told to check his bank account or something, because this guy just started throwing.
Here? So
he
there
just,
was no
he
vision.
just goes in 1v5.
Went straight into this dragon pit, and look, he walks forward.
He doesn't
and
even
the
have
entire
flash up.
team. Oh my god, that was a that was certainly risky. And then look at this, they catch out the Orianna. It's a really good Ornn ult, but there's so much damage coming in from the rest of the team. Derma is really tanky, but look at the damage from Porin, allowing Jayba to pick up the shutdown.
Yeah.
It's what you want. Atakan was shredding resistances that whole time, and while Porin does go down on mana, he's such a threat. He's so tanky, and he is putting out a lot of AP. He's got 2 items, Cosmic Drive, Navori Quick Blades. That's what you need. It really is.
And the 1k shutdown being picked up by Jinx, look, it's a bit better than the triple kill that was picked up by Bulldog. But we do see the masterwork items starting to come through from Ornn. We've got that upgraded Kraken and the upgraded Sunfire for himself. So
the starting Atakan here. It is risky as their resistance will be shredded. Stella does have a tiny flank in this bot lane, and look, they're forced to back off. Already half health on the Ornn, and Porin's actually starting the dragon, which could be the play. Look at the lack of vision on this dragon.
They do have the
blue ward now. Yeah, and the Atakan's still shredding this whole time. Zalia is looking. Ooh, the Argo's completely wide. Stella's in. Does the Shuriken land? It does, but Violet's got a bit too much damage, and Derma is here to help. Atakan going over. The dragon's only on half. Here comes the Ornn ult. Hitting, buffering, and getting Kenbo down. Too many kills. Porin there. Isn't engaged into the backline. Jayba can't figure out what to do. Derma 1v1ing Porin. Iselia is forced to escape as well. This 1v1 continues as Porin does get low. Derma does fall himself falling. Zalia is so tanky. Sundered Sky, Poppy champion at his finest. Porin is still 1v1ing now. Will take down Strawberries as well. It's actually a double kill, and it isn't too bad. They lose the dragon, they lose the Atakan, but we can see Porin putting on the performance that he needs to put on. A lot of gold onto the side of that volley bear.
Yeah, Porin is putting on a bit of a clinic. He's chowing down.
10k to 11k, still a lead from Derma. But we are going to need these gold turnarounds to happen. And only a 2k gold difference now in that bot lane as Jayba finds himself almost 2 items coming online. If this Jinx can get to 3, if an IE can be collected, this game can be turned, certainly.
And they do have to be careful. The game is still very winnable for the side of next gen. They've picked up a few kills. They've picked up the big shutdowns, all of them. And they're just finding these opportunities. They're creating these opportunities.
Absolutely.
A couple of mistakes coming through from Rush Hour.
Falling, I will say, and something I'm just somewhat not unhappy with, but we're just seeing its weaknesses is this Akali pick, Dodd. This, we saw a nice flank. The Shuriken landed onto Violet, but with Derma there, you cannot ever do anything. There's too much damage, and you're just finding yourself a little bit useless, I would say, as Violet can just walk under tower, chase down Stella. Speaking of which, slowed, Ornn ulted, another kill to Violet.
Yeah, so it's so predictable, unfortunately, like you're saying.
Might be a 1v1 here. The Battle of the Titans. Porin
early GA picked up for Derma. He's sick of dying.
He is. And it's going to be a redemption, but there's just 5 members of your team there. Everyone else is elsewhere on the map. Porin, what are you doing? Baron is going over.
Unfortunately, it does look like I have, in fact, cursed next gen by saying it was winnable. Now I'm not so sure. They seem to have cleaned it up and realized they were making some mistakes and they don't want to make any more.
Let's look at the positives, Dodd. Jinx has IE. That's a big positive,
That is a big positive. That is a big positive.
let's think of another positive. What else is there?
Oriana's got her upgraded Horizon Focus. Wait, wrong team. Sorry, wrong positive.
No, that's
no.
There's a dark seal on the Akali.
Wait, hold up. Oh, there's a full Randuin's on the Volibear and a Bramble. So, you know, he's getting there.
My God. Okay, I actually don't mind that build from Porin. He knows what he has to do tank, but he's going to have to drop the ego here and not attempt any straight 1v1s. You need to understand your role as a frontline here. We have to play with the rest of the team. Dahlia missing the stun into the wall on Bulldog. So much damage from Violet. He is going to hold this ult, but will that be bad? It goes on cooldown. You do get Violet into the wall. The Volibear ult to follow. A lot of damage. Jinx has that IE. Resets going out, but Porin will find himself falling.
Can Jinx find another kill?
Putting out damage, but Derma's so big.
Derma's just so strong.
And take a look. Yep, it's a double kill going over.
And this is just the benefit of having this massive Lee Sin and this massive Yunara. You know, Violet can play like a psycho and dive in 1v5, get off so much damage, and Gemma can just clean up.
Yeah, and there's too many holes in the ship of Rush Hour to plug. Too many cars going over the finish line here for next gen, and it's just like, who do you go on? And at the same time, we can't ignore this Oriana, who's been such a staple in these team fights. It's a good stun from Xaylia, but look, the Oriana, just in this backline complex here, putting out so much damage. Yes, Derma is there, but the amount of utility and just complete zoning tools. Look at Stella. Like, yes, we can look top here, but Stella is forced to R away.
Yeah.
A defensive R is not what you want from your Akali at all.
Yeah, and look at the level difference coming through from the mid lane. We got level 17 against a level 14 Akali. No one is scared of this Akali. No one. Yeah. So, I mean, it's super unfortunate, and this pick is just not doing what they needed it to do.
Yeah, and I mean, the Blighting Jewel going in for a Crypt Bloom or a Void Staff, I just don't think that item is going to turn the tides as Kenvo finds himself walking up a little bit too much on this Call of the Forge God, hitting Porin. They do get this Ornn, but who cares about stunning an Ornn? They're killing Kenvo in the meantime, and Violet's damage is frankly absurd. Yes, your Popular are away. Porin is here, but Bulldog can flash out, and he's on to Stella. He's on to Porin.
Says no.
Every Sonic Wave is hitting. Yes, you knocked away Violet, but he's here now, and he's here to say, I am the Yunara God. It's an ace for Team Rush Hour.
And that's probably all she wrote. Another insane Sonic Wave from the Oriana.
Yeah, I mean...
Shockwave, sorry.
It's so hard for next gen to play, and yes, you do have a couple good tools. It's really good use of this Poppy ult. Xaylia playing very well, catching out people with these stuns and this ult, these Rs, but not enough when there's so many members of the enemy team with defensive and offensive tools, as the Nexus will find itself falling in the hands of Rush Hour, who will take game one in the best of 3 series. Dodd. That was certainly a game and a half.
Yeah.
You were talking about the Violet domination, and didn't we see it there?
Yeah, look, I mean, it did come down to that bot lane. They just took over and we saw it from level 1. From straight out the gates, they took control level 1. They blew those summoner spells early, but like, what's Jinx gonna do? Sit on a Cull that's sitting at 90, 89 stacks for 6 minutes? Go down 70 CS? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, and Jaber played, you know, the best that they could, and they ate a couple shutdowns. But with that Jinx so far behind, they actually did get a reset in that last fight. But what can you do? You've got a Lee Sin bearing down, just about to sit. Doesn't matter if he's got, you know, cloth over his eyes. He can see you, and he's going to take you down so easily. And then you've got Violet coming in with just an obscene amount of damage. Oriana, such a strong
just
killer.
Didn't care.
He did not care. The GA was never popped. The GA was never popped. It was a good build, but what can you do when you have so many?
It's so hard. And look, we saw the Volibear putting up a good fight, but then, you know, Lee Sin at the end just says, you know what? You're on like 1k health. I'm gonna flash kick you and just kill you straight out the gate. He just stood no chance. There was no extended fight for him. He just got bombed straight off.
Absolutely, and I guess we'll have to see then what happens in the Fearless. Now we won't be able to get access to that volley. We won't be able to get access to that Poppy, which is actually a very big takeaway. And all those champions played will not be able to be locked in for Game 2. But for now, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for Game 2. So stay tuned. It's going to be a good one.
Yep.
we're back. And what a game. What a game.
What a game.
First best of 3, Dodd. What do you think? What were your thoughts about that?
Look, it was a good game. It was a bit of back and forth, but mostly forth coming out of Rush Hour. I mean, yeah, from start to finish, it looked like a bit of a walkover. That's just quietly probably what I would have expected when you see a teams go up against Kyose's team. It should have been a walkover. But yeah, I don't know. What were your thoughts? Tell me more.
Well, I think Violet, that bot lane domination was crazy. The CS lead from the start. And you know what it's like most important to look at? That first bush. I mean, we talked about it right at the start of that game. People were just walking around mid lane. They weren't getting prio on that bush, but Violet knew and Bulldog knew. And the moment that they got it, it spelled the disaster for Jaber. He was down 20 CS under like 3 minutes in. It was frankly absurd. And then Derma, they got the call in. We need to just keep diving. We need to keep removing any chance of this Jinx playing. She sat on that cull with 89 stacks for so long. And Porin played for a top side, and they did get that Poppy ahead. They got a little bit of gold. But then Violet, and the thing is, there were chances. We were talking that dragon pit dive. What do you think about that? Violet going into that dragon pit 1v5.
I don't know. I think Violet just got a little bored and a little bit of a brain explosion, little Jimmy Neutron brain blast, and just sent it, bro. He's like, I got this. I'm fed. And then he forgot that the other people on the team are actually the other people weren't just sitting on a cull.
No.
But also, you can't really 1v5 as Yunara.
Yeah. At least if you don't have that help, I do want to briefly mention this Akali. Now, we really did not see the Akali shine or come into the position, that assassin role that it was supposed to. And even though a couple of these shurikens did land, we actually saw like a really good flank. They were in that bot bush.
Yeah, by the Krugs, right?
Past them. But like, did we see it too much? We didn't even really look at it.
I don't even remember seeing Akali that game, to be honest. Look, Stella did his best, I assume.
Absolutely.
But they were just unable to create anything. And like I said in the game, credit to Complex for really neutralizing that lane. And that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
But hey, they first picked Orianna and it got matched with the Akali. So you really hope he's able to do something with that, but just was really unable to. And part of it is, look, it kind of all snowballed from that level 1 bot. Yeah. Because, you might have seen Akali roam bot if Yunara wasn't 60 CS up.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
like the same level. So I don't know. Game 2 is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, and we'll get into the draft right now for Game 2. Something, regarding this Akali pick, not locking in a mid laner with CC is so risky when Violet is such a terror. You need to be able to get this Yunara or whoever the ADC is locked down and killed quickly. And, well, I guess we'll see if Rush Hour and Next Gen have sort of learnt from that first game, as we'll take a look at the bans that won't be able to be picked here. Fearless coming into its play. We won't be seeing any Orns or Volleys, and that Akali specifically.
Yeah, look, and we're going to see the same bans come out of Rush Hour. They really just want to take these picks away from Porin. And once again, we see the Kai'Sa taken away from Violet. I mean, they got to try and get an advantage over that guy somehow.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of ADCs to ban, and we just saw him put on such a performance with the Yunara. And yes, we've got these classic bans, the Kiana, Gwen, just like last time. It might be a repeat of bans, honestly. We cannot allow these comfort picks to come through.
Porin put on a pretty good performance as Volibear. He did his best to keep his team in it, but it just wasn't able to do what he needed to do. And unfortunately, some of those team fights later, look, if those Poppy ultimates had hit, he might have been able to carry it for his team, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, certainly. Smolder. No, I think it will be a bot lane
ADC ban,
centric.
no way.
I'm surprised. I'm shocked.
Oh my god! Surprise Pikachu.
It really will. I really do think. I really do think that's going to be the exact same bans as we got in Game 1. Support and ADC centric, and we'll have of course jungle and top bans primarily. Maybe just jungle, to be honest. Porin. Yeah, we saw a couple really good outplays from him on that Volibear. Volibear, a hard pick to pilot well, just considering he's a bit like a Nasus. You've got one prerogative. You only really can jump in and go in, and good bit of peeling can put a real wrench in that works. As we get the Lulu ban again, Bulldog won't be able to play.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what Bulldog picks this time around. And look, Violet and Bulldog have got Scion picked up for strawberries. What are
Taking
your thoughts on
lessons
that
from
one, Chief?
Laughing Man. I mean, taking lessons from Laughing Man. He put on a great show with that piece.
He did.
And we might be able to get a repeat. Counted, of course, the Renekton. I love this matchup. I love seeing Renekton. We saw SK Knight on the Renekton, and I just like how Renekton fits into comps. I mean, it's the classic pro play pick, and that shield shred can become so useful. Not having to buy Serpent's Fang can really give you a bit of a gold. You know, you don't have to put the 2,500 gold into it. And look, another shield locked in for the side of Rush Hour. Renekton getting even more value now.
Yep. And then look, it'll be interesting to see what they pick up for their bot lane this time around. Ooh, the Syndra picked up another control mage here for Complex.
Yeah.
Seeing if he's able to really blast him out.
Oh, and Stella
Mel
picking up the
pick.
Mel.
Okay, here we go.
Alrighty, yes,
Bit of
finally
spice.
something with some CC. I really like that. And, you know, we also see with this Ashe pick, I really like this from Next Gen because what they've done is I think they've had a bit of a discussion and they've realized maybe instead of the Jinx, maybe instead of a late scaling ADC, we need to understand our weaknesses and our strengths. And the strength of Rush Hour is their ADC. So if we can get a lucky arrow or get a planned arrow, that's going to be a way for us to win the game.
Yeah, and so they've decided to go with another ADC ban, which is fair enough.
Illusion.
But yeah, what I was saying before is Violet and Bulldog have been around a long time. They know what they're doing and they got a lot of experience. So I'm sure they're not afraid of a few bans coming their way. Violet has a big champion pool, which he will be able to reach into, I'm sure, to try and pull out something after this.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's going to be good to see what more bans come through. The Mundo ban, Horan's Mundo Jungle will not be able to be played. I think in terms of Next Gen's comp, we're really going to need I think we're going to need CC on every single one of the rest of the members. We're going to need a CC jungler because we do have exactly what we need. We've got a point and click now with this Renekton, but I think we need another point and click stun to just ensure that we can get Violet down. Because now Bulldog is thinking, I can't really play a shielding enchanter. I can't play a shielding champ because Zalia has that shred. So what are you going to play? You're going to need Peel, though, because that's your whole team comp. As yes, we get another bit of CC, the Jax. Not point and click, but very good into the likes of a damaging auto-attacking ADC.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to see like a Nautilus pick here or something like that. Oh, the Sivir.
Ooh, that's a very strong pick. Not banning that away is risky when you have so many abilities that can be spell shielded.
And
Bard.
Bulldog's Bard coming out. His notorious Bard. I'm sure he's going to be up to some mayhem this game. I cannot wait to see what he's able to put together.
And there, like you said,
Nautilus on the
exactly
other side.
like you said, there's the Nort. It's a good comp.
Yeah.
It's a very good comp from Next Gen. But unfortunately, it does center around Violet either using the spell shield wrong or using it early and then capitalizing on that. Rush Hour just has a very classic, very strong. You've got the front line, front to back. You've got a little bit of catch out. And we'll really have to see how both team fights want to play. Who scales better in your opinion, Dodd?
I mean, it's got to be Rush Hour. It's got to be Rush Hour. I mean, they've got the Sivir, they've got the Syndra, they've got the Scion, who's just a nuisance, mega tanky. You know, same with Bard. Bard picks up 400 meeps and one-shots Ashe with an auto or something like that. Bound to happen. Look, I think one of the interesting points as well is they've got this Mel with W Reflect, and what's she going to use it on? Syndra ult?
Yeah,
maybe.
you're right. Oh my
Sivir
god.
Q? Oopsie. The Bard Q can be helpful, but not when it's mid versus support. So
There's
look,
no key abilities,
No, it's not like you got an Ashe arrow or something like that, or a hook or anything. So look, there are things to reflect, but probably not as many as they were hoping for. And so it's really good drafting by Rush Hour we see here.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I completely voided that, but if that J4 gets on you, you still got a J4 on you. You can block the EQ.
Yeah, man.
And we'll see it in this game as we get into the second game of the best of three.
Yeah.
Ghost point, of course, to Rush Hour.
There we go.
I wonder if this bush control, what do you think about this bush control, Dot? It's spelt the
We
doom.
better keep an eye on it.
As Nautilus, they are racing down. The Nord is coming down. Let's get that ward out. There it is.
Yep, the ward into the recall. Yep.
Human beings can learn, truly.
That's crazy.
No, but
Yeah,
it's
just a
very
standard,
good.
yes. Yeah, just a standard, standard level 1 so far.
Yeah, in terms of prio, the Ash Nautilus, it's a bit of a change around. The Ash Nautilus is definitely going to have a bit more of a bully lane, as Violet is just going to want to scale well into the late game. But team fights are so favored late game with Rush Hour's comp.
Damn, I'm pouring.
Aggressive, but nothing much.
Nah, just a little tickle. Yeah, look, and I think Violet's just going to push the wave in and say see ya. And while the wave is shoved, we're probably going to see Bulldog roaming around the map trying to make some magic happen. And obviously, look, he's got the safety of the spell shield. A leash in 2025?
Wow, that's a good top laner. That's a very good top laner.
Yeah, and
I'd be
look,
very happy if you were Derma here.
Yeah. I guess the theory is he doesn't really want to walk into the Renekton level 1. So why can't he just go leash?
He is going to start Q as the Dredge lane goes through and catches Bulldog here. Jaber's going to be forced, but look, they're not
Just
playing
a bit
that
of a trade
aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you could be playing slightly more aggressive here because if we take a look at the summoner spells, Kenvo has access to Ignite, and while Bulldog only has access to Flash. So level 1, I mean, an Ash with lethal tempo level 1, I'm not a bot lane expert, but I feel like you do win out on the severe there.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, after the Nautilus hooks and autos, he doesn't really offer anything else. Level 1 especially.
True.
So look, you've got the Barb Meep autos, you've got the Sivir. Now, I don't know if Violet has Q or W level 1, but can be a bit of damage that comes out. But also, they might just be a little. Jaber might be a little tilted after last game. You know, they don't want to lose again level 1.
It certainly makes sense to be, and when such the game state was so volatile as last game, and you have so many players so far ahead. There's that reflect, but what did that reflect there, Dodd?
Well, look, I mean, it still does give the invulnerability and that, but look, Complex is taking a little low, and he does have to be wary of the Mel passive. Once that starts to build up, it can be a bit deceptive, and you can think, "Oops, wait a second, I'm actually dead here." If you let it go too far.
It certainly can be, and you know, we've seen such a domination of Mel in this tournament, like Mel performing so well that I'm excited to see how it plays this game. I truly am, especially in this, you know, when there's not many key abilities to reflect. It's where you can prove. It's a bit of a proving grounds for a mid laner. As Derma does get the EQ with the Bard stun, but Porin is here as well. The stun is going to go down. The flash from the Jax. It's going to be a little bit of a movement speed gap with the slow from J4W.
No shot.
Wow, gets out on 1 HP. The flash stun from Bulldog, giving away first blood. Derma can't do anything, but what is he looking for? Violet forcing Kenvo to flash away.
Bit of a tragedy there. The Bard stun misses. He just hits the slow. Oh, the solo
kill. Oh, useless
That's right.
flash. Oh, no.
Executed.
A not useless flash.
No way.
Execution for the Renekton. That is perfect. As the wave is saved a tiny bit in regards using the passive to hold that freeze, but TPs are going to come out both sides, so it's purely positive in the way of next gen 2026.
Yeah, big start for next gen. Bit of a misplay from Rush Hour. Nothing too crazy, but bit unfortunate that they lose out on that Bard flash as well.
Yeah, I saw the vision from Bulldog there, but it just unfortunately missed.
If he hits that, they just triple kill, surely.
I really do think they do. Violet had full lethal tempo stacked, and it would have been good.
Yeah. But on the other side of that, you know, we're seeing, you know, a bit of a CS lead already starting to amount in this bowling already.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice for a second there. I feel like I'm getting flashbacks. It was 40 to 27 last time as well, I'm pretty sure. Very specific. They do have these biscuits on Jaber now, so he can afford to survive Melly on a bit wild, but man, Mel is a strong champion. That trade back is so free for her.
Yeah, that Q is just so annoying to verse. It's so obnoxious, right? As long as you're clicking on the character, you're probably not missing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's like nine separate volleys going out. It's a crazy amount.
I'm not actually sure how the interaction works with Mel and Syndra E. with the
Oh yeah,
stun.
does it reflect back or does it just neutralize it?
No, I'm not sure.
Actually, I wouldn't
I
even
guess
be able to
we'll,
comment because we will
we'll
see.
have to keep
Hopefully.
an eye on it. Any resident Mel's that want to give us some info?
You have Cryanara in the chat. Ma, are you aware of what goes on here? As Dragon has been started by the side of Rush Hour, but Porin, it's a bit of a leash. They want to fight it. That Mel rooting down onto Derma. Porin is
Violet
in
is
there.
free hitting.
Counter Strike online. The Mellow coming through, and they do trade of junglers. But Kenbo going low, but look at the Mel execution, taking down Bulldog. They're getting very low.
Oh, no.
Violet is putting out damage. It's just Complex and Jaber now. The Dragon helping out on the side of Rush Hour, as it will be a wipe on both sides. Dragon resetting fully.
Yeah. I mean,
look
and
here.
Violet just gets to free hit here.
Yeah, it's really good. Able to turn what should be quite bad. We did have some good hooks. You do have Jaber just putting out free hitting as well. But the Syndra is applying some really good cues there and just putting out a decent amount of damage.
Yeah. The
Lovely.
Dragon almost taking out Jaber there.
Yeah, good scat of the week for sure. We have got confirmation as well. It just stopped the Syndra EQ as the Dominus comes out in the top lane. Strawberries is going to want to ult or just walk away. But Zayla has access to the dive now. And with this pickaxe advantage, certainly doable, but he's going to choose to just go for the juicy fruit in the river.
Yep. And look, we're seeing the Scion again. Yeah, that early kill went over to the Renekton, but he's still going to be Scion at this stage. So we have to see if he can mount any more of a lead in that top lane. But if he can't, Bulldog. The Bulldog himself biting off a bit more than he can chew. Never mind. He's just annoying.
Very aggressive, hasn't he, this game? Which I really like from a Bard. We got that flash forward. Well, once again, I'm so confused. I really am regarding the Bard pick because what I'm at least used to, and of course my low elo take is definitely wrong here, but I'm used to it roaming a lot, and we just really haven't been seeing that from any Bards this tournament.
Yeah, look, and I think it can depend game by game, right? Maybe Bulldog might be able to see these able to do a bit more in this lane as well. But also, people in professional, they're a lot more coordinated than in solo queue. In solo queue, you don't get the call-outs as easily. Hey, Bard's coming, but, they're able to get that information off a little bit more easier. Maybe unless you're against Keria.
Yeah, true. The GOAT, of course. This Dragon gets very low over the side of Rush Hour here. There wants to be a fight. Porin and Derma, it'll be a battle for the Dragon. Ooh, slain. Let's see who the Dragon goes over. It goes over to Derma as well. Jaber, right there. Taken down, and the Bardar, speak of the devil. A miss from Syndra, it doesn't matter. Kenva's still gonna go down here. Ooh, and the Mel isn't enough to execute. Complex is here now. The reflect is going to have to be perfect. A flash stun from Bulldog. Still, reflect online.
There you
Finally
go.
used. There's our answer. Cancels out the scat of the week and does allow for the survival. But Dodd, don't look bot lane. Don't look.
I can't help it. I'm already looking, mate. I'm already looking. Now, I don't know if you saw, but Jaber missed his ult. And we know how that goes. If you miss your ults, you lose the game. If you hit your ults, you've got a chance. So, I don't know. We're gonna have to see how this one plays out. But at this stage, my money's on Violet winning this one again.
Yeah, 4-1 already. You do not want a repeat of last game with still a 20 CS lead. We saw Stella be way more impactful in these team fights. As you know what? Maybe Bard is roaming. I won't let you get these grubs for free, mister. Porin jumping on.
Yeah. And we're seeing Bulldog just play with no inhibitions. He just does not care. He's just running amok.
Dominus popped. Nord is here, has the hook. DC immunity to block the dash. But look, Derma's here. Knocks up both of them. The Jax finds himself falling. Syndra's here. Kenbo's gonna find himself falling. They're splitting the team comp. They trust Complex to get it as they go for Kenbo, who attempts to flash over the Melody. It's not enough. Run, Stella, for your dear life. You need to run. That's not the way. Bulldog's here in a single auto to secure it.
Yeah, and I'm just amazing peel coming out of Rush Hour there. Somehow Violet lives. Somehow.
And that's 2 more kills picked up, Dodd.
Yep.
For Violet, it's going disastrously. It's just like last game. Take a look here. Strawberry's slowing that Jax down, so he actually can't get into the middle right now.
Nah.
And just standing so tanky, the stun from Bulldog, and then take a look at the Scion Q, the EQ from Derma, and then the double up with Strawberry's stun. It's just so much peel, it's so much damage. Free kills all across the board.
Yeah. Yeah, and Bulldog is very much putting on a bit of a showing on this Bard pick as well. You know, like maybe not doing all the super roaming and picking up heaps and heaps of kills himself, but he's in their face. He's being annoying, and he's not afraid to tank the hook and tank the the attention if it lets Violet free hit, and that's really what we're seeing coming in these team fights too.
Yeah, absolutely, and we can see. Elia is still very tanky, but yeah, I love the fact I was proved so wrong about this Bard. It's a caster curse, truly, but it just is like, man, Bulldog has been putting on, like, it took 5 minutes. Oh yeah, he's here, and he's here, and he's here, some healing for you. Complex landing, the stun. Here's the showing of the power from the Syndra, and while Xaylia is tanky, Violet's here now. Are they going to give him another kill? It'll go over to Complex, but that's happy days for Rush Hour. They're completely fine with that.
Yep.
Derma here picking up, really good.
Battle goes a little bit
arm.
wide, but these guys are just running around the map and just doing whatever they want at this stage. So it just shoves and then leaves. And look, I mean, it's let Jaber catch up a little bit on the CS front. Violet hasn't, pushed any further ahead XP-wise either. Oh, Complex might be caught out here.
Absolutely, yeah. He's going to have to use a very
great
use of the E, and look at the phase rush. Look how much speed, and then you have the redemption. Porin is not where he wants to be. A trade, a shutdown, 2 deaths.
The redemption.
Is that
so
worth
good.
it, do you think?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Look,
Get a
Jax
shutdown.
gets his item. I mean, he already has
get a
Triforce,
shutdown.
but, Jax getting, a little bit more accelerated. Getting that shutdown is always, it's so worth. Trading that 1-for-1 as well.
Certainly, absolutely. As late game is going to be kind of rough for next gen, especially with such an early lead.
Yep.
And Jax is, I think, the key. Jax is certainly the key. A couple big Counter-Strike stuns. It's going to be really needed to have a chance at these team fights.
Yeah, look, and I think it's very much going to depend on how these team fights play out. If it's a longer team fight and we see Mel able to really stack up her passive and then drop a nuke on the enemy team with her ultimate, maybe, we'll have to see, but it really will just depend. Otherwise, it could just be quick Syndra ult, quick Jarvan ult, dead, leave, reset.
I hate to say it as well, Dodd, but we are seeing a little bit of a Renekton fall off here as Scion can eat all of that with just steel caps. He doesn't have an item. He loses the cannon, but man, you've got a ticking clock. By the way, that guy's got a black cleaver. That Renekton has a black cleaver. As another dragon goes over to Rush Hour.
Yeah, look, and then Xayla even came out with less health, I think, almost than Strawberries. So that's got to feel pretty disheartening, and you're probably looking at your team going, guys, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm up 30 CS, but he's still Scion,
Yeah. We need to do something, and we need to do it quick. They will get first tower top. Traded, of course, for tier 1 bot lane.
Yeah, so feats are going over to next gen, which will help them.
Certainly, it will play a role with this upgraded boots, and movement speed is going to be very important.
Yep.
They have vision on this Grom. There is a smite on Porin. Doesn't want to waste it though. I love the
Doesn't need
confidence.
to. Nice and easy. Well, we do have 2 dragons picked up for Rush Hour, so that we could be seeing a fight for the 3rd, and that would be putting a lot of pressure onto next gen.
Absolutely. I think this soul point is going to be so good for Rush Hour, as something we have to pay attention to is Jaber is going to be so far behind. I mean, he has kept up in CS, but Ash, to do damage, you need 3 items. With only a Kraken, and presumably he's going this PD second, they just have so much access to everything on this map. Embo, though,
can he get his ult off?
will land the stun, and we're doubling up the enchanted arrow. It's going to be enough damage. Violet is getting it off, but look, forced to flash away. A perfect spell shield, and Violet will go down. Trade-off with Porin. Stellan were onto tower, and they were charged up tower shots. Going to go down before getting the mellow of Jaber getting full 3 hits here. Derma EQing forwards, but into the stun. The buffered stun. That would be great to see again. And while Complex does pick up a triple kill, it was well played over on the side of Next Gen. Yep. All the same.
Yeah, no, really good fight there from Next Gen. And as we can see, they're now only down 1k gold. So, yeah, you know, all of this
take a look. I mean, Bulldog gets caught out here and does go down, which is what you want. And while Violet does get a lot of hits, he didn't get his reset off yet, so he doesn't have an item advantage. He spell shields the Renekton stun, which is really good. But keep your eyes on Derma here. Besides Jaber getting 3 hits, the root from Nautilus, and take a look, he wants to EQ onto Jaber here, but Renekton perfectly stuns him during the EQ and is able to escape not just with Jaber's life, but also with the Renekton's life as well. A good team fight, what you need for Next Gen to have a chance at this game.
Yeah, and a phenomenal double TP comes from the solo laners, right? Without both of those coming in, I think Violet probably walks away for free.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a really well team coordinated play. And
that fight would have gone so differently if Violet had what seems to be an IE that he's building towards, but whether, you know, not having that just allowed it to go not exactly in the right way. As we do see Bulldog here, there's no one bot side. Bulldog's just running away. I don't exactly understand why. Maybe he's just confident that
I think it's for the Rift Herald.
Stories will survive. Yes, as he realizes there are greater things in play. Rift Herald is up. They know they're on it. You trust your top laner, and your top laner trusts you. I love to see it. That IE complete on Violet now.
Yeah.
This game got a lot harder. Dive the Scion, if you will. Harder than you'd think, though.
Yep. Yep. He came in and said, "Don't worry, bro, I got a redemption for you. I'm not ganking. I'm out here. Peace." And it worked out.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Now, I believe we're seeing a Cloud Soul coming. Is that correct? Are we able to get a quick check on that?
Yeah, quick check on that Dragon Pit. I believe so. Now, a Cloud Soul will change the game entirely because movement speed is going to be so good for the side of Rush Hour.
Yeah.
As we get a Laughing Man, ult back to lane. Don't miss any CS. We need that cannon specifically.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, look, if
Syndra,
you see, the ultimate's the Cloud Soul's going to be phenomenal for both teams, really. The dominance, the Jack Soul coming through, Ash Arrow with the follow-up. Yeah, we are seeing a Cloud Soul come through.
Yes, a Cloud Soul, yes.
But also the Sivir ult is just going to amplify it for Sivir.
Even more.
She's going to be so fast. You got the Bard ult followed up by the bit of a by the follow-up, should I say?
Yeah, absolutely. The PD is complete. Oh, but Complex, a beautiful double stun, and the Bard ult to stop Mel as well. Porin finds himself in the front line. So much damage coming out. Violet has that IE complete, and they have Strawberries in the front line. You can just front to back. It is a bit of zoning from the Mel, but it still just looks in the favor of Rush Hour. Syndra scattered the weak. Violet does have a Crocodile on them. Doesn't matter though. They can look for more. Complex is gonna have his E rotations up. Next Gen forced to push away.
And it was so close. We saw Stella have big stacks on most of the team, but by the time, you know, it looked like she was going to ult, the stacks had fallen off, and she was unable to really do anything. So we didn't even see a Mel ult again. That's like the second or third fight this game where she hasn't been able to get a good ult off.
Certainly unfortunate. We saw Porin play really well, engage and sort of tank a lot of the damage with that counter-strike. But from the amount of time that this Scion and Bard buys the rest of this team, the counter-strike runs out and he can just be zoned down and killed so swiftly. We get almost a triple stun from Complex with those orbs here. And Zalius here wants to try to get onto Violet, but look at that IE damage. It's just insane, and you're split off from the rest of your team who are not willing to back you up because there's a good cause. As Porin finds himself a kill, actually, onto Bulldog, attempting to check it out. A bit risky there, this Rift Herald. Maybe not wanting to be given away. They are starting the Atacon. Will Rush Hour attempt to They will. They're here. Derma is here. So is
Well, the
Strawberries. You've got your
resistances will
front
be
line.
reduced.
Yes. Although it's getting shredded very quickly. Violet's here now. The time to fight. Kenbo hooking Derma here. The follow-up stun from the Mel. Violet spell shields the Nord ult. And Derma goes down. You do have this backline duo. But they're on the Severe now. The flash forward from Kenbo. Beautiful. Syndra forced to retreat here. And while Next Gen is low, he's dodging. It's going to be Kenbo down. But the Atacon is going over onto the side of Torrent.
Complex.
Oh,
Oh,
a
the
good
flash.
on the Enchanted Arrow. Actually, really good. Both teams incredibly low. It's just Complex as a reflect
Bard's
was
back.
used in that
Bulldog?
river. Yeah, Bard is
Bulldog
back.
dead again?
But he's dead again. The starter of this and the ender of this, as it will be Complex as well now. You're going to need a really good scat of the week here. A Q. Horan's too low now.
He's
Micro
running
is
to-
needed, but not enough. Bell executed. This game isn't out just yet.
That was a big fight for Next Gen. And look, I mean, Violet's been getting caught. There's been a few times this game, following from last game, where he just finds himself a little bit out of position and a little bit open to engage. We see Zyla
Yes,
gets a great
certainly.
flash stun again there. And look, the beauty of the engage tools that they have on Next Gen is, you know, Kenvo is pressing this Nautilus ult and yeah, Siva can spell shield it, but it leaves her open to everything else that's coming her way, which there is a lot of it.
Absolutely. And something else we're finding as well, once again, it's Caster's Curse. We talked about how crazy this Bard was playing and how many big moves, but now Bulldog's finding himself caught out a little bit and starting off, you know, losing out on the numbers advantage and having to come back to base and respawn. And then we saw him die twice in that extended Atacon team fight. Velia taking a very big chunk, but this is a tanky Crocodile with just one Null Magic Mantle. Enough to get away from the Bard Syndra combo.
Yep. And look, the Scion is putting on a good show in terms of being the tank they need. Oh, here we go.
The dive here onto Stella, the Enchanted Arrow hitting the Scion, but Strawberries is very, very tanky.
Literally, as
That
I was
goes
saying,
through.
he's a good tank. He does a good tank thing. So yeah, there's no risk there. Bulldog, dead again.
Bulldog finds himself caught out again.
What is going on?
We're going to need to lock in a little bit from Bulldog here because 3 times in a row you've been caught out.
Yeah.
Not what you want from your support, certainly.
Yeah.
As tempo has slowed for Rush Hour.
Very much so, and the
high
gold lead is
level.
it's evened out. There's no more gold lead. About 500 gold, I guess, but at this point in the game, it's pretty minute. Interesting enough, I think all of the team fights they've lost so far have been in relation to Bulldog being dead or caught.
Porin has a lot of gold on him. Look at the Porin gold lead in the
Wow.
jungle. It's sort of identical to the opposite side bot lane one here, but Jax is so useful and Jax is so powerful that he can turn these team fights in the favor of Next Gen.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, the upgraded boots are coming in now. You know, they've got the upgraded steel caps and they put in work. Give you that little bit of AD shield.
Yeah, absolutely. As we are going to get at least a working towards of Rabadons here for the Syndra, who's opted for the ability haste build, which I really like from Complex. You know, we've seen so many Scattered the Weeks, we've seen so many EQs that have played such a good divisive role in these team fights, but as this dragon comes up, this is what matters. This is the team fight that matters for Soul here. Bulldog missing out on Porin. Strawberries so tanky. The Scatter the Week goes wild. That Cosmic Drive, that ability haste will cause it to be on such a low cooldown. It will be up for the next rotation. Derma using the Blast Cone to bring Porin in, having to waste his ward. The Mel-E lands. Violet is here to get damage. Kenbo will find himself falling.
what
Derma
a
traps 3 in the
cataclysm.
Cataclysm. It's so much. Zalia is in the back line, but look at the triple stun from Syndra. It's a team wipe for Rush Hour. Kills for Violet. Triple kill. Holy, Derma sacrificed his life. Look at Derma here. Watch what he does to this Jax. We talked about how useful he was. I see ya. You're coming over. Get out that ward. Get out that dash. You're not entering this team fight today. But I'm not done. I'm Derma. I'm going to trap 3 in here with me. You're stuck like rats in a cage, boy. And look at how much damage front, 2 back, baby. Stun, damage, severe. It's beautiful. A painting in motion.
Yeah, we hit the triple scat of the week into the Bard stun, into the, the knock up, into the Scion Q. They couldn't move. Just really well played Team 5 for Rush Hour there. And they pick up Soul. So now we got Cloud Soul to manage. I wouldn't want to be running away from these guys because they are going to be very fast.
Running away with the game certainly is what Rush Hour seems to be doing. Look at this Syndra, 10-2.
Yep.
Rabadon's collected now. All eyes are on this Baron as Kenbo's hook goes a little bit wild there.
Yeah, we got 3.5 items on the Sivir as well. Porin said, I've had enough. I'm going to pull a Violet.
Counter-strike needs to be used. A good enchanted arrow, but saved by the Bardar. Complex is in the fight now, and Violet has been autoing all the same time. Zalia, the Crocodile falls. He's a hunter of Crocodile. Steve Irwin flash away from the Scion Q to get the R off, but there's no damage. It's a full ace, and they want the end. They're pinging for this turret. We might have Rush Hour take 2 wins and remove themselves out of this best of 3 as the winners. As they look for the end, we check the respawn timers. 16 seconds on Porin, 7 seconds on Kenbo. But with that Cloud Soul, with this movement, let's take a look to see if Kenbo can stop the inevitable. They're rushing for the Nexus. Kenbo's here. I'll do something, I swear.
He's like, I got this. I'll ult this guy.
Comes an ult. Porin's here. The only chance at this game. You do get a decent amount of damage out. Maybe you'll force them to back off. But Violet has so much with that IE. You get them to back off, but you lose 2 Nexus turrets in the process. They want this Baron now. This game is looking rougher and rougher. What do you think, Dodd?
I'm just looking at this Jarvan. I'm looking at him, and how did he get back to base so fast? And then he's got Shelly back at their base again.
Oh,
crazy!
Wait, Rift!
I was like shocked. I was stunned.
Wait, what just happened there?
I don't know.
I wasn't paying attention.
I saw him in their base, and I was like, when did this happen? What?
Rift Herald seemingly used as its job as a lovely bus, but there's not going to be any congestion from the side of Next Gen here as the Baron is so free. Violet, 14 kills, 4 items. Don't even need to sell that Doran's Blade as we are going to look to storm this Nexus.
Jack's looking like one of my junglers from solo queue at this point, questioning why is my jungler on red buff when the Nexus is open. Not really sure.
Look at the movement from Derma catching Gaber out. Enchanted arrows not going to be enough. Strawberries doesn't even care. They want the end. Look at how much damage. The reflecting absolutely nothing. Porin is there. Let's try one more time at the game. But Syndra's doing too much. Derma is emoting. He's not even going for the Nexus. And that will be the 2nd win of the best of 3 to Rush Hour, who will take the win of the night.
Yeah.
That was a great little series there.
Yeah, man.
Really strong performance from Derma, wasn't it just?
It really was. And look, Next Gen, they put up a big fight this game. You know, there were a couple of moments where it was a bit touch and go, and then I don't know, Rush Hour just have these team fights where that dragon fight just flipped the game on its head. After that, that's done. It was done.
Yeah, like a rat in the pantry eating cheese. We didn't notice. Violet picked up a couple kills, and he was a hungry little rodent, and he did so well with those kills, getting that IE, getting those damaging out in the team fights. And all the while, we have to talk about MVP. I think I would bring it over to Complex there, who played really well. Those scatter of the weeks, the stuns. How many triple stuns did he land, Dodd?
Yeah. Oh, it was unreal. And I think even, he's gone a bit of like the unsung hero a little bit. Last game he had a stellar performance as well. Sorry about the pun, not stellar. But, he really popped off in both games. Very consistent and reliable, where he just dicked down Stella low key. Like, that's all it was.
But you're right. And I would describe it as reliable. We speak about Bulldog and Violet, but in hand, playing in the backline right next to each other at all times was Complex and Violet.
Yep.
They were always together for that peel and for that damage. And it worked so well. You know, there was the Scion front line, and Strawberries played really well, soaking pressure. But, you know, just with the sheer amount of damage from the gold lead they had collected, it didn't even matter. They just had so much. And that Mel could never really come online. You know, you said it yourself. We didn't really see many big Mel ults through that game.
Yeah, look, it looked really unfortunate. There was a couple of times where she was mid-ult, right? Mid-slamming, but it just it didn't go off. She died or whatever happened. She got CC'd, but I think it just wasn't the performance we needed to see out of Stella. It was better than the first game, but unfortunately just not able to have the impact. And look, I mean, they gave it their best shot. They made a lot of opportunities. They played really well. But unfortunately, you know, Rush Hour was just... They did so well. They played so well, even though Violet tried to run it down a couple of times this game as well. But it's also, how cool is it that Derma and Complex, the subs that were in, both stepped up and they went crazy mode. Like Derma popped off so as well.
Performed so well. Absolutely. I think Derma, in terms of that jungle matchup, worked really well. I would like to thank, of course, Riot for supplying some really nice codes, and vote now for who you thought was the MVP. And I'll ask you, Dodd, who do you think in that final game was the MVP?
Look, I want to give it to Complex myself, to be honest. I think he just did so well. He really provided that stability, you know, and yes, Violet was popping off and yeah, Bulldog was inting, but that's okay. And look, it is what it is, right? But I mean, we could give it to Strawberries. He was a good tank, but he was playing Scion, you know, he did what he was meant to do. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, I think personally, I mean, giving it to Violet is such a you know, it's such a washout, because yes, we know he performed well.
It's like, oh no, the GOAT did well. That's crazy. Oh,
big surprise. He went sicko mode on ADC, but I think I'll give it to, at least for me personally, my personal opinion, I just think Complex performed so well. I think he was the backbone of that team, and, you know, worked hand in hand with Violet to ensure that victory. But thank you everyone for coming in as we come to a close here. We will be back tomorrow night at the same time for 4 more loser bracket best of ones, and you can stay up to date with all the bracket information at the oceanicresurrection.com website. Thank you, Dodd. Thank you so much, Dodd. It's
pleasure.
been a pleasure. Hasn't it been good? We've had such good games. And I'm going to see you here tomorrow, if I'm correct.
You will. I'll be here tomorrow. Unfortunately, for those in chat, you will have to see my face again. But look, I'm hyped. I'm ready to go again. And it's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you so much for having me. Hello. And looking forward to tomorrow.
No, it's going to be so good. And thank you everyone in OS for tuning in and watching. They're going to be just as good games tomorrow, maybe even better, maybe worse, but they're going to be interesting. I promise you that. But for now, have a wonderful rest of the evening, and I hope to see you all again tomorrow. Good night from me and Dodd.
See you later.